Welcome everybody to Aaron Live. This is our new time, I think. We'll see. I've decided to move it up to 4 o'clock, mainly because Ethan Van Sciver's got a new show starting tonight at 9 Eastern, and would have totally buried the end of my show, and I would have got killed in the ratings. So we're moving up to 4. We'll see if it sticks. I got a special guest. Shelley Showtime couldn't make it. She's out chasing around with Josh. So I bring in Brian, Big Band Rogers. This is Shelley's brother. He'll be sitting in with some rock commentary. So this could be possibly the worst show I've ever done. It could be maybe the best. We'll just have to wait and see how it goes. So let's see who's in the comments section. Statistical Zero is here. Eric Boyd. You know, Eric's got an important message for everybody. I'm so close to hitting 1,000 subscribers. Share this channel as much as you can. I hope he gets there soon. Thank you, Eric. So do I. In fact, let me do this as a gentle reminder. That's right. Subscribe to this freaking channel so I can get to 1,000 and we can have like a major party. Oh, look at. Well, Shelley, she's not here, but she's with us in spirit. So shopping for jewelry. Yikes, I better get to that 1,000 pretty quick so I can get some ad revenue. Pay for that. Hyper Kaiju is here. Louis Bright Raven. Just finished my live draw and dinner. So you did your live show and you're eating, or you ate. Joe Bernardo, interesting case study. Aloha, Aaron. He's from Vegas. So, but originally from the islands. So Aaron Louviere's here. Past Master Dan. Oh my goodness. Dave, we haven't seen you in a million years. Little Caesar. Pizza. I guess you're referring to me. Oh, Stephen Ing. Thanks for joining us, Stephen. Oh my gosh. You guys, you can't bring that much that crap this early. Oh, we need better humor than that. Work a little harder for me. That's pretty good. Pretty good. All right, so we haven't done a Sunday show in like forever because we had Aaron Con, and then last week was the 4th of July, and so I've been doing a lot of these, last second live streams. It's basically me just going off the cuff and drawing. This is actually the Sunday show. The big show is a planned event. And, I have all sorts of good stuff for you guys to check out. And that's, I feel great to kind of get back into the groove and back into doing what I normally do. So let's start off with the first feature of the day. Okay. I think it's time to spend just a moment looking back at Bernie Wrightson. Let's do that. Hey, that was Wrightson's Captain Stern. That was one of the several unpublished pages he did. A couple of those ended up in his Look Back collection, the big volume of on retrospective on his work. And that was around 1978. And he did some really, really cool stuff. But as I remember the quote going something like, he figured by the time he got finished with it that the Star Wars craze would be over and he'd have a book that he couldn't sell. So he quit working on it. And it's really sad because that was some of the pages from that Captain Stern stuff were fantastic. And then ironically, it ends up in the heavy metal movie, which I'm sure, Brian, I'm sure you saw.
Oh, yeah.
And so here he's got a thing that he abandoned. He ended up doing the short story and issue of heavy metal around 1980. And then that ended up being in the movie. So he really should have carried through with that. And he did later, but it wasn't the same caliber of stuff he was doing in the late 70s. And that's like, I'm kind of disappointed that we never got to see the rest of that Captain Stern. But anyway, let's get right into this. What we're going to do today is start looking at some albums, some rock albums, most of them classic. Well, they're all classic because I quit listening to music 1990. That was it. The radio went off and I went back to classic rock.
As long as there's a classic rock channel in Portland, he's listening.
That's right.
KGUN 92.3.
That's right. Now, you remember they had Way Down Dick Sheets. He's 8 years younger than me. So, no, the guy with the really deep voice, the DJ, and they called him Way Down Dick Sheets.
Don't remember Dick Sheets.
What about the Marty Party?
I remember Marty Party.
So you remember Marty Party and Iris?
And Iris.
Yes.
She was great.
And so they would play all the classic rock stuff. Of course, when I was a kid, it wasn't classic rock. It was just rock. That was the rock station, right? So you'd have the pop station where you'd get, the Barry Manilow stuff. But then if you wanted to hear some rock and roll, you'd have to go to KGON, the rock station. And so that's still around, but they just play classic rock now. So it keeps me, I can still turn on the radio and.
But what is classic rock now? I mean, I always think of, your Stones, your Journey. But now as you get into classic rock being maybe U2 now.
Korn is classic rock, I think, right?
Putting Nirvana and Pearl Jam, like, no, that's not classic rock. But we're getting older, and classic rock has to expand as well.
Well, I don't think it does. I'm not going to allow it.
I mean, opinions vary. I'm with you. But I mean, exactly the definition of classic rock has changed. I mean,
no,
the
of
big
course,
bands, the Eagles,
So, some of the artwork I did in the 90s is now considered classic comic art.
Yeah, I was reading they thought U2 and classic rock. I'm like, no.
Oh.
But I graduated high school '89. That was right in the heart of it. But I never thought of that as KGON classic rock.
Are hair bands classic rock? Are they even rock?
Depends on the day.
I see your sister's big hair band fan from the day. So
Bon Jovi's, yes.
Now look you can tell this dude's old. Classic rock is the 1950s.
No, too old.
Those are the oldies but goodies, but not classic rock. And I don't even know if I'd consider 60s classic rock. That was more like the birth of rock and roll.
Well, I always think of classic rock as album rock.
Yes.
But then if you look at the Grammy Awards for Album of the Year, in the 60s, Sinatra had like 2 of them as Album of the Year. One year Album of the Year was Bob Newhart, his comedy his channel or his comedy album, and Sinatra's all over the 60s. I'm like, Album of the Year. But again, as rock expanded, they beat the Beatles several times. Sinatra did for Album of the Year.
Well, they were just coming up, and he was already established, and they had to kind of like you'd have that transition where they sort of dethroned him, But I don't know if you've ever dethroned Sinatra.
But you can always get. I mean, you listen to Strangers of the Night, and you're just, it takes you away.
But it doesn't rock me. Okay.
Oh no!
Like the old. Oh, sorry. Where is it? Oh, there it is. The oldies stations are playing Asia.
Yes.
I love Asia.
I love Asia.
Do you know who was in Asia? You know what bands got together to form Asia?
No.
I have a little Nazareth later on, so stick around.
Yes.
It was Emerson, Lake, and Palmer.
And all 3 of them, or just 2 of them? Was it Emerson and Lake?
No, I think it was all Palmer. It was definitely Palmer was in there, and I don't think Lake was in there. But it was guys from that band, and the drummer was from Crosby, Stills, Nash.
Really?
So who was the drummer? Graham Nash? Wasn't he the drummer?
Don't know.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it was Graham Nash that formed Asia. So there you go. If Buddy Holly had lived, he would have been bigger than the Beatles. I don't think so. That's a wild, crazy statement. I don't even know how to. If my daughter was here, she's such a Beatles honk. If my daughter was here, she would do this. So if it's bad, I understand Aaron's confusion. Okay, now that comes. I'm not sure if that was an insult or not, but I'm gonna assume it was. And we'll give you some of that just in case it was. Now, what about this? Joe Bernardo says, the Little Red Rocker, Sammy Hagar, is doing a residency in Las Vegas. How about that? If you want to see Sammy Hagar, you can go to Vegas. Wow.
For $1,500 a ticket right now.
All right, let's get rocking on
Yes.
this. What I've done is I pulled up some album covers, mainly because of the art, but also because, there's some decent music attached to them as well. The unfortunate thing is, in order to share my screen, I have to push about 20 buttons every time I do this. So we're going to do this I got a ton here, so I'm going to do this in segments. All right. So if I go to share screen again, go to the window and let's see. Where's my?
Should we start with there we go. Should we start with the Meatloaf because of the rights?
No.
Okay.
Don't give anything away.
My bad.
All right.
There we go.
There he is. There he is. Okay, I'm going to start with this. Okay, so I picked this mainly for you guys because this is Drew Struzan, famous movie poster artist. This is very early in his career, in the early 70s. And this was, Alice Cooper was in a band before this. I can't remember what it was, but I was reading something on Wikipedia, and they described it as, they said, Alice Cooper's garage band style was dying on fumes, or what would he car fumes? What would you carbon monoxide fumes? He made some kind of joke, so he went on his own, and this album was a huge hit. But as far as I can tell, there's nothing but a bunch of crap on this album, with the exception of, as we talked about earlier, the rather pointed titled song "Only Women Bleed." Not sure what he's talking about there, but it got a lot of radio play, and that was the hit.
Yep.
Off this song.
Got you thinking.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so that's Drew Struzan. So I wanted to pull that up to kind of start the show off. And because, well, actually, you guys may have noticed. Let me bring up my title card really quickly because I want to do this too. Since this is sort of in the A's if you go backwards. This title card, I think I go on mute when I put this up, so I'm going to say this now. This title card was for the what was the Aerosmith album? What was the name of it? Draw the Line?
Draw the Line.
Draw the Line by Al Hirschfeld. Go. Why is it not coming up? Oh, I know. Hang on a second. Okay, so that was Al Hirschfeld. So Brian comes over here. Now check this out.
I like lots of different music.
Very eclectic, but check this out. This is
Broadway.
My Fair Lady. My Fair Lady. This is the original Broadway.
Broadway.
Look at that, with an Al Hirschfeld cover on it. So how about that? So Al was working on rock and roll and a little bit of Broadway too. So
don't get me wrong. I mean, I like a lot of music. I got Peter Tosh to Legalize It. I mean, a little bit of everything on there. So yes, I never listened to it. I thought the album cover. That was funny.
Well, any guy doing weed.
What's school in Eugene? What am I going to supposed to do?
Yeah, exactly. All right. So now, speaking of Aerosmith, long segue. Sorry, but there it is. All right. This is probably one of the iconic albums of the mid 70s. I remember I was in 6th grade when this came out.
Wow.
And the cover is very interesting, but it's very creepy. If you look at I don't know who drew that. It looks like an old style. Who drew Little Nemo? I can't think of the guy's name. Or Arthur Rackham, maybe something like that is what this kind of feels like. But I mean, look at this creepy little gnome helping the little baby with the keys and everything.
From the movie Trolls or something.
Look at the elephant. That's clearly not Dumbo down there. I mean, look at this. He's got like 2 little warts on his head or something. It's just really creepy looking. But anyway, what a great album. This, of course, had Walk This Way and Sweet Emotion were both on this album. But the notorious song on this album was Big 10-Inch Record.
Not to be confused with the band 10cc.
No, it wouldn't. Or 9 Inch Nails. But yeah, so if you guys have never heard Big 10-inch Record, I'd highly recommend checking it out for some laughs.
One of the many classic rock, small little.
Yeah. But let me not forget either that snacks are an important part of the show.
Oh.
And the first thing Brian did when he walked in, he handed me the stack of albums. He goes, "What do you got to eat?" So he understands the value of food to this show.
Where's the spread? Where's the spread?
Yeah, he wants to know where the buffet is. It sounds like my kids. I don't like that. We should have a buffet here every night. Sure, we should, kids. But anyway, so we got some peanut M&Ms. I hope you're snacking with us along at home. That's true. I ruined it for myself. Aren't there all albums like that we got that were so great we just played them over and over again until we were sick of them? Man, Paul's bringing it. He wants to know where the White Album is or Back in Black. Dude, we just started. That's not very nice, Sharon. That's Steven Tyler, not a gnome. Yeah, it was very good. See, that's what you get rewarded when you bring the good humor. When the lame jokes, you're going to get punished. I'm not even going to click on that. Broke my big 10-inch. What's what?
Let's all go to the lobby.
Well, it's funny you should say that because.
Here we go.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
I got everything. I'm prepared, man. Let's see. Look at these guys. You guys, I've shown like 2 album covers. You're already going, what happened to this? What happened to that? We got like 40 to go through.
Patience, my liege.
Look at every one of these is like ones I'm going to do and I haven't got to yet.
They're right ahead.
Oh, they're cheating. So I'm kind of doing this in alphabetical order. So, all right. So let's get back to it before you guys just explode wondering, where are the album covers? Where are the album covers? Okay. I think it's the next one. It is.
Yeah.
See?
Boom.
Now, you brought up an interesting observation about this that I thought was funny, and it's true, about the look of the art.
Yeah.
Very airbrushy and very 70s. You said it was something you might see on the
side of a van that you're and
back in the day.
Back in the day, right? Exactly. Kind of dazed and confused.
But probably was on more than one band.
But you're also, Close Encounters kind of time.
There was a lot of spaceship themed art going on in the 70s, which we'll get to some more of that, which is a very weird trend, but it seemed to be very much the thing. Now, the next thing I want to show you is, first of all, let me say this. This is arguably, I don't even know if it's arguably, but it's one of the best debut albums of all time. There is not a song on this album that did not get radio play, and most of them were top 100 songs. I wrote down, look at this. They have More Than a Feeling, Peace of Mind, Let Me Take You Home Tonight.
Jeez.
That's just 3. I mean, every stinking song on here got radio play. There's not a song on here you would not recognize if you're from that era or listen to music from this era.
And it was a fixture on classic rock. I mean, whatever station, wherever you lived.
Yep. Now, I'm not going to show the second album because it's so similar to the first, although the artwork on it is superior, the second album. But they released a greatest hits album probably not too long ago. And I thought it was interesting. Look how much better that artwork is. And I'm sure that's all digital, but still. You go from 1970, that was probably 77, 78, that first Boston album to this, which is probably extremely, recent, maybe the last 10 years. And it's just a totally different, the artwork is so much more refined. But I love that sort of spaceship guitar theme that Boston carried throughout all of their albums. And yeah, so we're big Boston fans around here, and Boston Red Sox fans as well. So not just the music.
I was in Fenway 3 weeks ago.
There you go. Okay. Now, this isn't a art cover, but I want to throw it up there really quick simply because with Boston being the debut album, this is another fantastic debut album. You've got, I should remember this, but I wrote it down. You got Good Times Roll, Best Friend's Girl, Just What I Needed, You're All I've Got Tonight, and then Bye, Bye Love, Bye, Bye. And there's even more on there than just that. What a great album this was.
Probably one of those bands, if you saw them in concert, it's like, well, I really don't know their music. And you're like, I know every song.
Yeah,
you know
like,
the words to every song.
Yeah, it's like, haven't I heard this before? I mean, it's just really amazing. When you come out of the gates with an album like that, how do you top it? And I don't think they ever did, but they were still a great band. Of course, go ahead.
I did the same thing at a Barry Manilow concert. I was with my dad at 7. I was 17. And it was an entertainer we had to go to, and he's like, well, I'm like, Dad, I'm not going to this. I'm 17 years old, Barry Manilow. I'm not going. He's like, come on, you're going. So I go. I knew every word of every song. So yeah, it's hard to admit.
All right, now this is her follow-up album, Candio. Now I was impressed. Brian knew who did the art on this. Brian.
Yes, Alberto Vargas.
You got to check his notes, but he did.
Sure.
But you did check. You did come in with the information.
Yeah, I did. Little well-known pinup girls artist, and yeah, it was really good.
Now, he was obviously very old when he did this, kind of at the end of his career, so this is not the best piece of artwork he's ever done, but I still think it's cool that they did this. And this isn't, in my opinion, isn't a great album. There's a couple good songs on it, but, you know, just because they got Vargas to do the cover, they got my respect. But I'm a big, huge Cars fan, so anyway. All right. So now I'm gonna, man, you guys I can't keep up with the comments. The Boston cover reminded me of something from Xanadu. Remember? Did you ever see that movie?
No, I tried not to. So.
Yeah, it was good. Good. I mean, good that you didn't see it. It's a terrible movie. And you know the guy that starred in it, his last name's Beck. He was in the Warriors, the lead in the Warriors, the lead of the gang member.
Not the guy with the Warriors come out and play
guy. No, that's the bad guy. No, the good guy.
Oh, yes. I don't know his name, but I know you're talking about.
Michael Beck.
Michael Beck.
So he's kind of, you know, got a lot of attention because of the Warriors. So then he goes in his next project, he does Xanadu, right? And he blames Xanadu for ruining his career. But after watching him, he's, you know, not mean to cap on anybody, but not terrific actor. And so it's kind of like he was lucky that he got in Warriors. And you can blame Xanadu for ruining your career, but I also think that him being a average actor probably didn't help him either. But
would to become a lead where he probably is a character actor.
Exactly. Oh boy, look at that, Brian. Someone's trying to start a fight in the chat.
Unbelievable.
I'm sending you this from Brian.
I do like Cleveland people.
There you go.
Good people.
Them good, hearty Midwestern folk.
In '97, I'm watching the World Series against the Marlins, Game 7, with the legendary Frank Robinson in Arizona. And after he watched that game, the Marlins win. He goes, "That's not fair. Indians fan deserved that one." That was a bummer.
Yeah. Past Master Dan says that was his introduction to Vargas, was the Candio cover. How about that? Yes. That's a good album, too. Oh, so if Shelley's not here, it's not worth it. Ashley, is that what you're saying? I'm not going to slap you, Ashley, because out of respect for your dad, but watch it, okay? Shelley, actually, the way we've got it planned, hopefully, is that Brian has to kick out of here at about 5 because he has his son's baseball game to go to. And about that time, Shelley should be moving into the co-host seat. So we'll see if it works out, because I've got a lot of features and stuff that I want to show, but I want to wait till Shelley gets here to do them. So we're sort of kind of hodgepodging the show a little bit in terms of breaking it up. That's an excellent question. Was that a GTO on the Cars album cover? They don't really show that much of the. What do you think, Brian? You're a car expert.
Oh man,
not a lot there to go by.
No, I'm trying to look at the front end, but the wheels. I don't know if that's a. I don't know.
We're going to give you Joe. We're going to say it could be. How's that?
I'll research.
Oh, wait a minute. He says it's definitely a GM. Even John Wayne made bad movies. That's a good point. I don't expect everybody to have, their album to be great, but let's keep moving. Again, I apologize for having to take like 6 clicks just to share an image, but all right. Now this came out in probably about the same time as that Aerosmith album. I remember this in 5th or 6th grade. And if you're an Elton John fan, and I know some people are, some people aren't, but if you're an Elton John fan, this is a great album.
Yes.
It has, what do we got on here? Someone Saved My Life Tonight, which I actually really like that song. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, which I believe, isn't that a Beatles song?
Yes,
and then he did a reworking of that, and then a recover, I guess you'd say, of the. And then Philadelphia Freedom, which I completely spaced and forgot was on this album as well.
And I believe that song was written to Billie Jean King when they did Team Tennis. I swear. That's why they're the
Philadelphia Freedom?
I think so. Check it out. I'm not positive. I'm about 80% sure.
Okay, I got something even more bizarre than that.
Fun fact.
You're familiar with Neil Diamond, I assume, right?
Yeah.
You know the song Turn On the Heart Light?
Yes.
E.T. Based on E.T. I told that to Daryl. Daryl's a friend. No, I'm not kidding.
No way.
No, I'm not kidding. That was my understanding. That I heard that on a rock station, a DJ telling this story. So I assumed it was true, but it was inspired by E.T. I'm not kidding. That's what I don't know. It could
make sense. I mean, literally makes sense. But
if you listen to the lyrics of that song, it makes a lot of sense. So maybe he was joking, but
side note, if I can interrupt,
please.
The painting on the Candio is actually a Ferrari 365 GTC 4. So
there you go, Ferrari.
Based on a photo shoot directed by Robinson. Robinson is at a Ferrari dealership.
How about that? Man, iPhones are an amazing thing. Anyway, you got some more. I'm wasted. I'm going to paint an album cover effect here.
So much going on.
And this is a wraparound too. It folds out and it's like a long.
I have a CD. I have the CD. I don't have the album.
I actually had the album when it came out. And it came with a little comic book inside that told about how Elton John went from being Reggie. What was his name? Reggie something or other.
His real name.
Arnold Ziffel or anyway.
Fern.
Fern. His name was Fern. And how he went from that to becoming Elton John, and there's some really good. It is really a great album, but man, it is like some sort of Salvador Dali airbrush trip going on here.
Another airbrush there. The airbrush time right there.
Put it on the van, baby.
Yeah, put it on the van.
But anyway, that was a really good one, and. Where am I going here? So I'm trying to do this in order. So Elton John. Oh, we'll go to this. Now, this ties in with what we were talking about earlier, this whole sort of 70s spaceship kind of thing. Although, isn't that...
Space shuttle.
Yeah, the space shuttle, isn't it? So I wonder if this is sort of a revamped cover. Because this had to come out... Well, the space shuttle was the 80s. So this might have been like 1982 or 83.
Who knows? Because their theme on their albums it's hard to, unless you know what the album, it could be whatever year because they have the same kind of thing. Obviously, with their
ELO spaceship is like on several of their It's true. So it's but now that I'm thinking about this, this could have been because the space shuttle was 1980 when it blew up when they had the. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I was in grade school.
And so this album, they would have had the space shuttle at that point prior to 1980.
Here's got
What's he got
Fast
for us?
Master Dan has some stuff.
Right here. You got to see that ship at their concert. It came down on rails and lit up with
Yeah.
smoke. All right, man.
It looks like we got it was 1977. It's like
All the Blue is 1977.
so that kind of hits that whole 77. If it's Paul
Well,
McCartney Wings type of colors,
Mm.
and
Well, they might have been flying the space shuttle as early as 77, or at least talking about it.
for sure.
So,
Yes, Joe Bernardo. Look at us.
he's right about Billie Jean King. Aaron is right about Heartlight. Yeah, that's rock and roll. Trivia knowledge is completely worthless, but we've got it.
Oh,
Oh,
but I forgot to take the garbage out on Sunday.
Joe, this is for you. For confirming our genius. Was it 86?
Oh gosh,
Was it really?
time's crazy.
Well, then would they have had the shuttle? This must be a revamped cover then. There's no way in 77 they would have had a shuttle on there.
I mean, yeah, who knows? Yeah,
I'll have to go back and check. That's what Google's for.
yeah. Yes, yes.
Oh, that's exactly what it looks like.
Fantastic.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh,
I love fun facts.
I'm telling you, I got the best audience on the tube.
Seriously.
These guys know their stuff. All right. So as I push 6 more buttons to get to this, we're going to jump a little bit ahead in time. And I'm not necessarily, I don't think this is a particularly great album cover in terms of art or anything, but because we kind of got on this topic of great debut albums, this is a tremendous debut album. They had on there Sweet Child of Mine, Paradise City, and Welcome to the Jungle, all on their debut album.
I was in high school. It was awesome. Saw him at concert in '91 with Metallica and Motorhead at the Kingdom up in Seattle.
Wow.
It was fantastic.
Okay, Motorhead, and who else was in that?
Metallica
With Guns N' Roses.
with Guns N' Roses.
So
that tour,
who
Metallica.
opened?
So every concert they swapped it as the
Oh, did they?
lead. So this time when I was in Seattle, it was Motorhead always was the
Opening, right.
and then it was Metallica, and then Guns N' Roses. Metallica was fantastic. Guns N' Roses was great, but it sounded just like from the radio. You get really
Right.
critical, but it was fantastic.
Well, see, that was the one thing about Leonard Skinner is Ronnie Van Zant was just a taskmaster with these guys and rehearsing because he wanted the concerts to sound exactly like the albums. And you listen to Skinner on YouTube or something on one of their live albums, and you listen to Freebird, and it's just like they're not straying. You know what I mean? They are playing the song exactly as you've heard it. Statistical Zero's leaving us, but he'll be back.
Cool.
Appreciate that. Yeah, it is good, but I don't know that it's up because like the Cars, like I said, the Cars in Boston, those debut albums, every single one of those songs on there is recognizable.
Sure.
On these, they had 3 of these Guns N' Roses. They had 3 huge hits off of it, but the rest of the album is,
Yeah.
But when you have an album where every single song is a hit, it's like Michael Jackson's Thriller. It wasn't his debut album, but it was, it's like every song on there got radio play.
Everyone. Yeah.
And so that's when you've got something special. All right, so now I have to go to the next. Shelley wanted to push Foreigner 4, but she's not here.
She's not here.
So I'm going to skip it and
What a
we'll wait
great
till she
album.
gets back. Okay, how are we doing time-wise?
Great.
Okay. See, Brian's got to take off. I want to get through as many as I
I
can.
have a heart out, so whenever.
Okay, we're going to do these.
These are great.
These are. And I don't know about that, but it's weird, so we're going to go with it. All right, now check these out. Let's start with this. Jethro Tull had some of the coolest album covers, but their album covers were more traditional illustration. They weren't funky, weird stuff as much. And this is a perfect example of that. I'm guessing that's Ian Anderson as the Aqualung there on the cover, since everything was always, centered around him, their lead singer and songwriter and composer, and basically the heart and soul of the band. But yeah, that's like a classic, illustration, painting illustration. I just thought, that as a kid, that's something we need to get into in a second here too, is record stores.
Oh yeah.
But
just flipping through the.
Yeah, I was never a big Tull fan. I like Aqualung, but okay. But I love the lead in it. The lead guitar solo in Aqualung is killer.
Oh yeah.
And the rest of the song, I just I always speed up to the, the lead guitar part, that I quit after that. But anyway, yeah, so we would go into, we had, like you guys, I'm sure, there was record stores all over the place. We had several of them in the Beaverton area where we lived.
Tower Records, Music Millennium.
For What It's Worth Records. There was the one right there in Beaverton on Canyon. It was Everybody's. Was it Everybody's?
Everybody's.
And so I remember going in there, and of course they had all the rock posters, right? You'd walk in and they had, those 70s flip things where they had the posters up and you could flip through them, and they were all rock posters, right? I think I got a ZZ Top poster there once, but you'd walk in there and the whole place smelled like pot.
Oh yeah.
Right? But then they would be burning incense to cover up the pot smell, so it smelled like pot and incense. It's like, you're not fooling
they
anybody.
didn't sell bongs; they sold water pipes.
That's right.
Water pipes only.
And if you remember that place, they had like the back room was where they were just, they were just hammering the weed back there. But they had this like beads that would like come down, and you could go through the beads to go in the back room and smoke weed, I guess.
It was like Greg Brady's bedroom. You go up to the attic.
Exactly. But we used to go through there and we would flip through and just look at the album cover art,
Awesome.
And back then we were buying albums. Well, when I don't know how much they were with you, because you were probably, because they were like $7.99 or $5.99, somewhere in that neighborhood when we were paying for albums.
I inherited a lot of albums from Shelley, who you all know. She was a big, she collected Beach Boys albums.
Mm-hmm.
And our other sister Kelly, she did a lot of Billy Joel albums, things of that sort. But when I started getting, it was mainly got into tapes, and then obviously from tapes to CDs. But when I started getting CDs, I started buying albums from used record stores, like in Eugene. I was in Eugene a long time, and that's how I got that Peter Tosh Legalize It. I was curious about Neil Young Harvest Moon album, so I bought it for $3.60 on vinyl. I liked it, so I bought the CD.
Well, I remember when they were phasing out albums and the CDs, and in the Tower Record there, Beaverton Mall, right?
Yep.
And it was like 1 week you'd go in and it was just all albums, right? Then the next week it was like half CDs and half albums, and they were like, you'd see them starting to push it out the door.
Yep.
And before you know it, it was all CDs, and that was like what, late 80s, early 90s, probably.
Yeah, I got a 6-disc changer for Christmas in 1989.
Did you really?
And everybody was like, "Wow!" But it was just, I bought the receiver, I bought the speakers, so I was all into CDs early. It was just it's fantastic.
It was a very weird feeling, and now it's all coming back, of course. Which brings me to the point about the price point. Like, again, in the mid 70s, I was buying albums for $5.99 or $7.99. I think a double album was like, $9.99 or something, right? I bought Samantha that Boston album, the re-release of the first Boston album.
Yeah. Which was it?
Almost $40.
What in the world?
So she's got a record player, and we trashed all that stuff. And I was like, if I knew it was going to come back around, I would have kept at least one of them.
I think I have my dad's Statler Brothers collection still. I'll have to look at it. Maybe a couple Perry Comos, but other than that.
Caloran D says, we had a place called Smoke and Leather. You knew what drugs were for sale by the color of the balloons they had out front.
That's great.
Oh, my gosh. And Joe wants to know, was Brady smoking in the Brady room?
Oh, yeah.
You know he was. You absolutely know he was.
With Miss Brady. What?
Now, oh, hookahs.
Yes.
That's right. Wait a minute. White Rabbit serving him a drink on stage. Who are we talking about here? Motorhead. I got to go back here a little bit. Guns N' Roses played a small theater near me. Like 300 people showed up. A few months later, they were playing stadiums.
That's awesome.
Didn't that happen out the Hillsborough Fairgrounds? Was it who's the chick that was in the Mickey Mouse Club, and then she was like kind of tried to take over from Madonna for a while? What was her name? The blonde.
Britney Spears?
Yeah.
Oh.
Wasn't she out at the?
I don't know that for a fact, but it sounds right.
They had booked her earlier, like at play a county fair, and she blew up before the fair came, and she couldn't get out of the contract, so she had to go play the fair, and that place was
good memory.
packed.
Good memory.
It's unbelievable.
94. I'm living in Eugene. Buddy of mine goes a lot of music scene. He goes, "Hey, come see this band." It was on a Wednesday. It's called Good Times. It's 50 people maybe. I'm tired. I'm gonna watch a ball game, whatever. Yeah, it was Dave Matthews. I mean, all those little things, yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, wait a minute here. I have about 200 vinyl, but it's all country music from the 50s. When Shelley and I got married, she was, excuse me, she was really into country music. And so we made an agreement that she had to like Nebraska football and I had to like country music. So there was a period of time there where I was totally into country music, but that time has passed.
Yeah.
Yes, and again, I'm younger than you, Aaron. Who isn't? That's the problem. Who isn't? Johnny Fitz has showed up from Chicago. Johnny, thanks for joining us. Oh, Ian Anderson had the White Rabbit serving a drink on stage. Wow, you guys are some serious rock and rollers, man.
Can you throw up some more of your Jethro?
Yes, I'm going to do it right now.
Yeah.
I got a little carried away there and forgot about we have more Toll because Toll had so many great album covers. I wonder if I can do two of these at once. No, I can't. All right. Now that's Ian Anderson as an elf. Now look at that.
With
look
butterfly wings?
Yeah. He's like a little fairy elf dude or whatever. That sword's bigger than he is. But look at that. They got all this like elfin gibberish writing on here and the heads of the bands right there. That is a killer album cover.
With the waves and the clouds with the moon. I mean, the moon, wow.
It's so typical of like Lord of the Rings. That stuff was so popular in the 70s.
Yeah.
It had that big resurgence where all that sort of fantasy and sword and sorcery stuff was like really, really huge. And like I said, I was never really into Toll that much, but holy crap, they had great album covers. I should have bought them just for the album covers.
Seriously.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Elven Runes from Tokens. Yeah, I'll give you a little bit. Oh. So anyway, that was pretty killer. And there's one more I want to show you. That was, I don't know, could be arguably the best of all of them.
Seriously. Look at that.
That is cool. Stormwatch. It's got a little lightning in the. Look at him. He's got like.
See the snow on the beard. It's cold.
You got birds back there in the ground. That is just really. So I give Jethro Tull a lot of credit for making an effort to have really cool illustrative album covers. Because that's the kind of stuff that, again, when you went in a record shop, started flipping through, you'd go, wow. I mean, if you didn't know Jethro Tull, you'd want to buy it just because the album cover was so cool. No kidding. Ian McCaig painted that? You would know. This guy is like pop culture knowledge.
Seriously.
So Ian McCaig, who did a lot of the design work for the new Star Wars films, not the new ones, but the second wave George Lucas films. Just big movie designer and stuff. I didn't know McCaig did that. That is awesome.
That is awesome.
Okay. So anyway, that's a really cool one. I really dig it. And I also like the sort of monochromatic feel. It's mostly gray with a little bit of green in there. It's just really cool.
But for that, still has pretty good depth.
Mm-hmm.
For that, so.
Absolutely. All right. So, I got one more I want to show. Okay, now this one I don't even know who this
So
band is,
weird.
but it's so weird that I had to show it. Gentle Giant Octopus. And it's like a fold out. Now you know who that is, right? Yes.
You don't. Do I?
Yeah, you do. Yes, album cover. Roger Dean.
Oh, yes.
Roger Dean.
Yes, Roger Dean. Yes.
You called it earlier, then you totally spaced.
Well, you got that Salvador Dali kind of feel to it.
You say Dolly meets Walt Disney. No, what did you call it?
Dali meets Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. So it's just kind of those colors, those muted colors are just it's just
It's trippy. I mean, I don't know what Roger Dean was on, man, but he was doing stuff like this all over the place now. Yeah, it probably is pretty early Dean, but I'd never heard of this group before. Looks like the Cholulu. Can anybody even ask me? Is there actually an accurate pronunciation for that? I don't even think there is. But anyway, I had to throw that up there because I saw that and it was just like so wild. I was like, what the heck is this? So Brian,
love this one.
did you have anything else in the stack that you just had to
No,
share?
I just again coming back to albums. You miss out. I mean, I've got this old Paul Simon greatest hits. If I can get this over here.
Oh,
You
sorry.
can see that there.
They can see it
Can they see it?
just because this is.
I mean, terrible cover. It's like Paul was sorry to wake you up so early for the shot, but the inside, the liners, all the words to all the songs.
I remember that. Yeah.
Love that. That's just so cool.
So
Big fan.
bad album cover, but great liners on the inside.
Well, Paul, and everybody knows Paul Simon has a face for radio, so it's like why highlight that?
All right. Now, somebody, this is really kind of funny. The kid that lived with kid, he's an adult now. He's actually older than me, but he looks younger, and that's important. Guy who lived across the street from me, we were growing up, Dan Erickson. He messaged me earlier about, I should include a certain Hendrix cover. And I said, I'm not including that one, but I said, I'm including another one that you actually owned when we were kids, because that's where I saw this album was the guy across the street. And that's a pencil drawing. I don't know who did it, but that's a pencil drawing of Hendrix. And I just thought, it's just a cool, stark image. You get the monochromatic, drawing of Hendrix and Brown, and then you got this colorful little bird, right? I just think that's a really, really cool album cover. So I wanted to include that. Now, I think everybody went through a Hendrix stage, where you thought Hendrix was the coolest guy in the world, and you listen to Hendrix, and a few of the songs stuck with me, but I never became like a huge Hendrix fan.
I did for a while, songs like Crosstown Traffic, that's probably my favorite. But just
see, All on the Watchtower is my favorite.
Sure.
And here's the interesting thing. That's a Bob Dylan song. He re-recorded it. Hendrix did his own version. And then when Bob Dylan went back and played it after Hendrix's version, he played it more like Hendrix did. He adopted Hendrix's approach to it more than what he had originally done with it. That's how much he respected what Hendrix did with it. And that's his cover for it is great.
That's great.
And of course, what was that really kind of upbeat? Fire. Dun, dun.
Yes.
Dun, 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 dun.
It's just great.
Dun, dun. Yeah, I love that
Hey
song.
Joe is one of great song.
Mm-hmm.
I've said that too. Hey Joe, what you doing with that gun in your hand? People are like, what? You don't know. I can't help you.
So like, get away from me, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Now these are going to be kind of obvious, but I have to include them.
Same kind of theme.
Again, you got that kind of like out in space. I don't know what the heck you'd call this, but you got some planets down there, but they got this winged sort of orb, and is that like a volcano in the middle, I think, and that orb erupting?
Subject to interpretation. There's a lot going on.
I think it is, because that's lava right there, isn't it, coming out of the
You know, got kind of the going around the, you know, circling the orb.
Mm-hmm. That's like a spaceship or something, maybe zipping around there, a little tiny spaceship. Interesting.
Yeah.
But I will give Journey credit because they kind of carried this theme throughout most of their albums. I'm not going to put all of them up there because they're all very similar, but like this is Departure. That first one was Escape, and this is Departure. And again, you've got
That kind of an eagle.
it's like a beetle with like psychedelic
wings.
Pegasus wings or something, you know.
You got that again orbiting around the Earth. Something's going, you know.
So I don't know what they were going for there, but
stuff, man.
you know, but there's a great again. It sort of symbolizes how important the album cover was to getting people's attention to just like a book cover.
Well, the colors, it stands out.
Yeah, you pick that up and go, wow, this is really trippy, man. And of course, I'm a big Journey fan, so regardless, you know, it depends if you like Journey or not. But I happen to, and they got a lot of hit songs spread out over these albums. So they were good albums to go along with the fact that they were pretty. Wait a minute.
Got some stuff on that.
Journey art, Stanley George Miller, aka Mouse, Stanley Mouse. There you go. See, Louis Bright Ribbon once again dropping knowledge on us.
Seriously.
Yeah, exactly. Scarab with an infinity sign, but what does it mean? That's what I want to know.
What does it mean?
And what was this? I had a friend who had that on the hood of his Pontiac Tempest.
Awesome.
Wow. Can you imagine how expensive it would have cost to get someone to paint that on there? Wow. No, that is no, Jeff. But let me put this on your face. So Jeff, see, Brian doesn't know because this is his first time being here, but Jeff is always angling for a slap in the face. See, and he's asking for it.
It was the nose. The Steve Perry nose.
Van Halen or Van Hagar?
Oh,
Van
Halen.
See, I'm going against you on this.
Are you kidding me?
I was never a huge David Lee Roth fan. I didn't like him. He's out of here. Just give me these M&Ms and I'm out of here. I preferred Van Halen with Sammy Hagar. I did.
Blow him up. Blow him up.
I did. I'm sorry.
I love Sammy Hagar. I saw him concert also in Eugene. Great guy, a solo act before, but no.
I'm going with Van Hagar. I don't know what to say. I just was not a big fan of Van Halen until Hagar joined him, and I liked a lot of the tunes that they came out with when he was. Now, do you know who they almost got as a lead singer to replace David Lee Roth, or who Eddie Van Halen wanted?
So it was mid '80s.
It was early '80s, wasn't it? More?
No, it's after the '84 album.
No, you're right. You're right. Wait a minute, 1984 was that David Lee Roth?
Yep, that was David Lee Roth. That was the last
one. Okay.
Which was Panama, Hot for Teacher.
Yeah, Panama. I like Panama.
No, I don't know who they were in it for.
Well, no, I can't think of her name.
Barry Gibb.
Yes!
Knew it.
It wasn't Barry Gibb. It was
nailed it.
What's her face from Patti Smythe?
Wow.
From Scandal. I love Patti Smythe.
I do too.
She's a great voice.
I do too.
I love her.
Is she married to John McEnroe?
She is now. I don't know how long that's been going on, but I just saw that.
Not to be confused with Patti Smith.
Right. Patti Smith is another yikes.
Eddie wanted Ozzy Osbourne. That was sweet.
See?
Katy Perry.
Look at that. You dropped a rail when you joined Van Halen. See? Well, I know I'm a minority, but I liked Hagar.
And it was actually pretty good, the Van Hagar. I just chose not to listen.
Is that really true, Joe? Is that really true? Because I hadn't heard that, but I did hear the Patti Smythe thing, and Patti Smythe, but she
Aaron can't. I like that.
Which one?
I like that.
Aaron can't. But I'll also give you the. because it was funny and personally offensive. And so you get both for that. Montrose, here's an interesting thing about Montrose. He was a lead guitarist in Edgar Winter's band.
Oh, really?
Ronnie Montrose was, yep. And you know who else was a lead guitarist in the was Rick Derringer.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Both of them went through Edgar Winter band.
Well, yeah, I mean, bands broke up so much in the 70s. And I mean, you're talking, the Cream, Derek and the Dominoes with Clapton. Everybody's kind of, fill in, and yeah, it's interesting.
Well, okay, that's undeniable. I will give you that.
True.
He was a great character. He was a really good lead man. I just, for some reason, Van Halen's music, I didn't really like it, but I just liked the Hagar songs, or several of the Hagar songs, more than I liked the previous stuff.
Yeah, Stephen Lee Roth brought theatrics,
yep.
Probably live and things of that sort, but it probably ran its course.
That's probably very, very true.
True.
It's very true. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. Sometimes I get Edgar and Johnny confused. I know that Montrose played with one of the Winners, and Rick Derringer played with one of the Winners, but I get those two conflated. So you'll forgive me. I forgot. Sammy Hagar was the lead singer for Montrose.
Yep. And
that was after Montrose went through. Wow. See, look at that kind of 70s sort of nepotism, I guess, in a sort of way. They seemed all like they were all connected in some way.
Well, they're all doing so much coke. There was so much going. There was so much movement.
They couldn't remember.
There was a lot of angst. There was a lot of angst. The guys are moving from here, the band to band.
They couldn't remember whose band they were in, right? So they get up the next morning and they go in L.A. and drive down to recording session. And go, oh, I'm in with you guys now. All right, so I've got a couple more here that actually a couple more. Ooh, we're getting close to your.
That's fine. We're good.
Because I'll jump in and we'll move ahead to you to your pick. So just let me know when you.
These are really good. I didn't show there.
Okay. Kansas. The Kansas, I really liked Kansas. They were how would you call it? A multi-layered band with just the different sounds they were bringing to the. It was just kind of a new sound, but it was so clearly rock. It wasn't, some sort of fusion pop thing, or it was.
On My Wayward Son.
Well, that was the hit off this album, Left Overture, which I think is a great title for an album.
And they were very into later career. They would sit in with I think the Kansas City Orchestra and do concerts with them on their own Kansas songs. Really cool stuff. Styx done that a few times. Just really a.
And again, this is so typical of 70s album cover art in a lot of ways. I mean, there's no confusion about what era this album came out in. There's another one here I want to take a look at real quick. Following along the same themes with Kansas.
Yes, look at that.
And I love that. For the edge of the earth, to the point of no return.
I'm gonna put that on my.
Say how long?
I'm gonna put that on my van as well.
Yeah, I know. It was like always these sort of like they come up with the trippiest image they could come up with. Like, oh man, what if a boat was going off the edge of the earth? It was like flat, and there was like this black hole in the background. And
what if, man? Again, it's the Coke factory back in the 70s. Now, click on this one here. Is it Caroline?
This one?
Yeah.
No.
Nope.
Kansas is still touring. This one.
Yeah.
Which one?
This one here. The Dean Winchester. Love this one because this totally is. I have a Spotify. It's the show Supernatural. Dean Winchester is one of the characters on there. I actually have a Spotify station that's all from Supernatural. It's all Kansas. I mean, it's a great.
I actually used when I was in.
I'll send it to you.
When I was in film school at SC, I had this. The film I made my junior year was this guy, it was a futuristic thing where after a nuclear holocaust kind of thing, and he's out in the desert wandering around, right? But he had a tape cassette, you know, because that's what we had at the time, right? Like a Walkman type thing. And so they would listen to music until the batteries ran out, right? And he was listening to 70s rock. It's like Kansas and Styx and things like that. Oh,
we got an update from Shelley.
Uh-oh. Still shopping. Yikes. Send money, please.
Seriously?
Help us.
GoFundMe.
Help us. Help us. Help us. Oh, boy. Okay.
Yeah, they're awesome. Those are just great. Airbrush.
Mm-hmm. I got one more. And the only reason I want to show this is not because it's a great album, but I remember this as I wasn't a kid, but I was a teenager when this came out. And this was kind of, Kansas was sort of on its downward trend a little bit. You know, they'd kind of hit peak, and this is probably the later 70s, pushing into the 80s. But Monolith was the name of it, which is a great name for an album. And I love this like American Indian with the space helmet, with the horns coming out of the space helmet. I just thought it was just look at this moon or whatever it is back there. Like, I just thought that was just a killer album cover. And I think there's only one really recognizable song on this album, which was "We Are the People of the South Wind."
Oh, yes.
But anyway, closing out Cage Yours. I know, my gosh, I'm in so much trouble. Yeah, not for Shelley and I are already married, so that's not.
They're renewing their vows.
Yeah, and it's going to costing me a fortune. My gosh. Okay, so now we're getting into some heavy rock and roll that will certainly spark some conversation. Oops. I can still see her face even though I'm covering it up. Okay. They really need to upgrade this sharing feature. All right.
Yes.
Who does not own, at one time or another, owned or owns this album? This is a great, I mean, if you like Kiss, let me put it this way. This is a great Kiss album. Mm-hmm. It's like every song on here got play. It was a big hit. Now, here's the interesting thing about this album cover. Ken Kelly, who is Frank Frazetta's son-in-law, painted this.
Wow.
Okay, but I was told that they originally tried to get Frazetta to do it, but he didn't want to do it. So he gave it to Ken Kelly. And Ken Kelly ended up painting this very iconic Kiss cover, which could have been a Frazetta cover.
Another fun fact.
How about that, huh? Wow, look at this. You're now officially off the chat.
Shocked.
I'm gonna put you in. I'm putting you in timeout for that. That's just terrible. Now I don't pretend that Kiss is a great band. I actually call them garbage rock and roll, but they're fun to listen to.
The theatrics.
Yes, and all the music is just sort of, there's nothing deep going on there, but it gets the job done. And this, I think, that I write down, I should remember, because of course this had Detroit Rock City on it. Mm-hmm. You remember when they were doing 45s? Were they doing 45s when you were a kid?
Oh, yeah.
This, Beth was the single off this album, and Detroit Rock City was on the flip side.
Beth, what a great song.
Remember, they'd always put the hit song, and then they put a crap song on the back from the album. Well, this time they put that on there. It was like 2 hits on a 45. You never got that.
Yeah.
And this had, of course, I think Shout It Out Loud is on here. And I mean, every song, there's like, I think 8 or 9 tracks on this album, and they're all like ones you've heard. Yeah, there you go. King of the Nighttime World, and You're My Headlight Queen.
Oh, man.
I don't know. Would you put Kiss in the glam rock? I don't know that maybe later when they were like I Was Made for Loving You and that kind of stuff, you might be able to kind of shoehorn them into glam rock, but I don't think early on. I mean,
they're a tweener.
They started in like 74, wasn't their first album like 74? And
weren't they like
there wasn't even
4 Jewish friends from Brooklyn or something like that all came over there and when they had them, it was obviously the theatrics, the masks, the paint
Go ahead.
Yeah, they're just obviously the Gene Simmons, the Tongue, the Fire. You know, it's just they're fun music, easy to listen to.
Yeah, I don't know.
I love that cover.
Yeah, that's Ken Kelly as well. So
I had that on 8-track.
8-track.
I did.
I went and saw these guys. I'm not a big rock concert guy, but I went and saw these guys on their very first reunion tour, which was like in '96.
Wow.
They're at the no, it was at the Rose Garden, so it was relatively new.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, it was 95 in the open. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was 96. And we were on the side, and the stage was in one basically end zone, right? And we were on the side. You know the stadium because obviously go there to watch Blazer games, but we were right up in the second level, right on the corner, and the stage was right there. And Gene Simmons was on a platform. He was not 10 feet from us.
Wow.
And we're just like, Gene, you rock. He's going.
Got the bass going.
And Ace Frehley was like, I mean, literally staggering across the stage. Like, they talk about a guy who's perma-fried. And that was like, I mean, but it was all the original members. You know, they got rid of Eric Carr and the other dude, and they had all the original members for this tour.
Ace Frehley got out of rehab. Things that sort.
Yeah, exactly. But we were watching them going, man, those dudes are old. But then they've been like touring for 30 years since, you know, and it's like they're still doing it. Right. So they were probably maybe in their 50s, you know.
Listen to that. Look at Paul, what Paul says there. That's a good one.
You got the first Medicare tour. Hey, let me tell you something. These guys were in their 50s, but the Rose Garden has a big overhead, you know, with the scoreboard and everything, and they play videos and stuff up there. 3 chicks in the front row took off their tops for Paul Stanley in his 50s, right? And they just put him up on the big screen.
Bless their hearts.
We're like, rock and roll! Oh, man. Okay. All right. This is your segment, the start of your segment.
Well, I just, you know, this, you know, Zeppelin obviously had great.
Well, wait a second. Let me share it first.
Oh, there you go. Sorry.
We can see it, but they cannot.
Forget about that part.
All right.
You know, obviously Zeppelin had great album covers. I mean, this is, you know, House of the Holy, and the group that kind of did all the Pink Floyd covers, it was Storm Torgerson and Aubrey Powell did all the major Pink Floyd covers. Well, Aubrey Powell did this cover for Led Zeppelin, House of the Holy. Just a really weird, great depth. I love the lighting as what they're coming to. Is that, you know, is there light at the top of the hill? But you know, Led Zeppelin albums across the board are good. Like, obviously, Led Zeppelin 4 with the total, you know, Tolkien influence going through there. Mm-hmm. The Zeppelin 1 with the Hindenburg. I mean, just really fantastic stuff. And it matched the music. I mean, I just think that had so much to do with it.
And didn't you say this dude also did the Styx Pieces of 8 album cover, the 3 faces of that?
I don't know. I can't remember if it was they did the Styx cover. This was the same. I'll have to look that up. This is
interesting because it's not art. It's obviously photography, but it's manipulated photography with all that coloring and tinting and stuff going on, and it's bizarre. I remember watching as a kid. I remember going to the album shops and flipping through and seeing the Led Zeppelin section and just being weirded out by every single Led Zeppelin. And they also had a lot of weird songs. I mean, Robert Plant had a very haunting voice,
big time.
You know, and so you had to be sort of in the right frame of mind for Zeppelin. I've never been a huge Zeppelin fan, but I'm not, you know, not anti-Zeppelin. But
I actually, because of my age, I'm 50 now. I had the Robert Plant tape Principle of Moments, and I didn't even know he was in Led Zeppelin. That's how stupid that. I think it was like 83, 84, and I'm like, he's a great solo actor, or this guy's really good. And I'm like, oh yeah, he was in a band called Led Zeppelin. Oh, what's that?
You never heard of Stairway to Heaven before that?
I was like 13.
Now, do you remember their album In From the Outdoors, which was the Brown Raper? Let me try that again. Wow.
Take 2.
Brown wrapper cover that had like it was like brown paper and it was like torn at the top, and it had the rope like it was a package or something. And it was In From the Outdoors. I actually liked that album. And that was like in the 80s, early 80s, I think. It was like not really their comeback album, but I think Robert Plant, like you said, had done solo or something. and then they kind of came back and did that, as I recall. I have my dates screwed up, but I do kind of like that album.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. No, I want to go here first.
There you go.
Okay, I picked this. I'm not a big Meatloaf fan, but this is
It's your buddy.
well, Richard Corbin, huge. He did a lot of heavy metal stories in heavy metal, British comic book artist. And now I don't know if you remember this now, but we were talking earlier about the heavy metal movie.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the part that John Candy voiced Den with a big bald guy who walked around naked, basically? It was one of the segments in the...
That was John Candy?
John Candy did the voice for him. He goes, well, suddenly I got transferred to this world. I was walking around with my dork hanging out. I remember that line. I never forgot that line. Walking around with my dork hanging out. John Candy saying that. But anyway, this Den, that segment was based on was a character that he did, this artist did in heavy metal. And so I put this on here because, for the comic book connection, even though I'm not a huge Meatloaf fan, but I don't dislike Meatloaf, but he's not someone that I necessarily.
My wife Serene,
out.
Who's on this, she loves Meatloaf.
Like eating it or the music?
I should say neither. I was actually tongue in cheek in that one, but I had to make a mention.
You had to get her in there just in case she's watching. Oh yeah, my wife loves Meatloaf.
Yeah.
Okay, so hey Serene, if you're watching, I'm coming over for Meatloaf. This is on here because it's a Wrightson cover.
That's the one.
No, this came out. I think I had to be in the early '80s because I was in high school. Maybe I was just in college when this came out, and I remember freaking out, going, "Holy crap, that's Wrightson! He did an album cover for Meatloaf." So apparently Meatloaf was a big Wrightson fan. I don't know that he was, but I'm sure he didn't just randomly happen. I'm sure he sought him out to do that. So that's pretty cool. So I had to get that in there. Well, Jeff chimes in, oddly enough, we had Meatloaf for dinner tonight. So, it's an American classic, really.
That's great.
We got someone recognizing Corbin as a legend. Absolutely, he is.
Nice.
Let's see, I like that. I mean, A Bat Out of Hell, that probably is one of the more iconic album covers of all time.
Yeah,
that is pretty.
It's great.
I mean, it had so much. I mean, it had so much energy. That motorcycle coming out of the graveyard. I mean, it's just like in the reds and stuff in that.
Just another theater rock guy. In the 70s.
He was in Rocky Horror Picture Show.
He was.
Man, the first time I saw that movie, that freaked me out. I had no idea what to expect, and I was like, "What did I just watch?"
Have you ever gone to midnight showing over at Alberta Theater?
No, but my brother and I were in Reno with my parents, right? And I was 14 and he was, I guess, probably 16. And we couldn't do anything. We couldn't gamble, right? We could go to, the only hotel they had with gambling was Circus. Mm-hmm. And you went up to the upstairs, they had like sideshow circus games, you could play for the kids to play. Right, and they would cost a fortune, of course. Mm-hmm. So we got bored with that after a while. And so we were walking around downtown Reno. And there was this movie theater, and it was playing Rocky Horror Picture Show. And I remember saying to my brother, I go, I've heard about this. I go, but I don't really know anything about it, but I've heard about it being like this cult film. We should probably go see it and check out the experience. Awesome. And so we went in there, we sat down, and it wasn't packed, but it was pretty full. There was a lot of people in there. And we're standing there, or apparently we were sitting there kind of in the middle, and everybody had stuff with them, right? Like newspapers and stuff.
Newspapers, umbrellas.
Yeah, and things like that. And we're like, I turned to the guy next to me and I said, "What the heck is going on here?" And he goes, "You've never seen this before?" I'm like, "Nope." And he goes, "Here." And he gave us some newspaper.
Yep.
And I said, "What's this for?" And he goes, "You'll find out."
It's great.
Holy crap. From throwing rice to the squirt guns when it's raining, they'll keeping the newspaper over our heads to protect ourselves from the debris flying, and the hot dogs and everything else.
Had it all, because I got a list of things before we went to go to it.
Oh my gosh!
But it was really fun. I saw it one time, and they did the actors on a stage while acting out what was on the screen.
Now we had some guys walking around in costume, but they weren't acting it out. They were just kind of hanging out in costume,
Yeah.
Look at this. Aaron Louvier says, our family was finally going through my grandma's stuff. She had passed away last year. I ended up with a prized possession of her Meatloaf album. Oh my God.
What an awesome grandma.
Grandma's rocking to Meatloaf. Oh, I got a Pink Floyd story to share, but we'll get to that later.
Okay.
Okay, so what did we just do? We did the Rights and Meatloaf, right?
Yep.
Okay, so we're
There you
going here. Speaking of Frazetta, now clearly Frazetta didn't do this Death Dealer picture for the album cover. They just contacted Frazetta and said, "Hey, can we use this art for a cover?" But I have to say that was the coolest thing probably about Molly Hatchet was they were using Frazetta art on their cover. That was, you know, they have excuse me, they have, in my opinion, and it's my show, so my opinion counts. They only have one good song that I really like, and that would be, of course, from this album, "Flirting with Disaster." The lead in this song, I think, is fantastic.
It is.
And I would always turn on like the classic rock station, and you could tell on the song if you just missed the lead or if it was just before the lead by the end note after the chorus. And so I remember if it would be after I missed the lead, I'd be like, "Oh," or you get it right before and you're going, "Yes, I made it just in time to get the lead."
And this got some traction later because Rock Band, the video game, came out, and their first Rock Band, this song was on it.
Really?
So me and the kids would be playing it when they're, it was hilarious.
But hey, you want to sell your album cover? You want to sell your album? Put Frazetta on the cover, especially if you're a heavy metal dude, right? Yeah, that's right. You had a lot of Velvet painters did that too. Yep. Right, Joe's got it. He knows.
Oh.
He knows. Okay, so let's move on from Molly Hatchet because we're really not, in terms of rock and roll, there's not a lot to talk about there. Oh man. Okay, we're moving right along. Okay, now Brian, you said you had a story for this, so I'm.
Yeah, let's do that one, and then I'm going to have to leave. But yeah, let's do this one.
Well, we're going to do this one, and then we'll jump ahead to your Styx album, and then you can go.
Okay. And this covers is fantastic. Yes.
All right, Nazareth, Hair of the Dog.
Look at get into the depth.
I should know this artist.
Look at the faces.
I know. I should know this artist, and I know at one time I did, but I can't remember. So I know Louis Brightraven is going to come in about 2 minutes with the correct answer on who the artist is. But this, of course, has that notorious song, "Now You're Messing with the Son of a Bitch," right? Now you're messing with it. Okay, so Brian, you have a story for us from grade school.
No, it's over. No, at a grade school.
Okay.
So two of my children one of them was in a stroller. We lived in Tigard. We're by some grade school. We're walking. There's around June. The reason I knew it was June because there was how the schools in the year do a field day.
Right.
Kids run out there, they get little medals and whatever participation stuff. So we're walking the kids, walking around the school, and they had a path, and there was a bunch of dads. It looked like we're playing at a band while the kids are playing games. And I'm listening to the song, and I'm and I'm like, these guys are pretty good. And the song was "Now You're Messing with a Son of a Bitch" at a grade school field day party. It was so great because we're listening. We're like, yeah.
Now you're messing. Hey!
Oh yeah, it was so great.
Oh my god!
Cried laughing. It was just.
Who would have okayed? They must not have known. They must not have known.
Oh, the principals probably didn't know that kind of music. But it was.
Yeah, we do Nazareth. Okay, that sounds great.
Oh yeah,
Jesus is from Nazareth.
That sounds perfect. But yeah, it was great. As we're walking, we're getting to know the song.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Oh, very nice. Yeah.
More cowbell in Nazareth than Blue Oyster Cult.
Yeah.
More cowbell. It was Christopher Walken from Saturday Night Live, right?
Right.
Need more cowbell. Yeah, Hair of the Dog. Mike TV Dub.
Nice.
See, some people have some Nazareth fans out
Absolutely.
there. Oh, this is interesting. When I was stationed at Fort Hood, Texas, they had a statue made from Frazetta warrior painting. Are you kidding me? Wow. How about that? Joe from Vegas says, I got that Molly Hatchet Thor cover just for the painting. Well, the thing is, when that came out, I already had the Frazetta books that had that. There was all these collections that Ballantyne did of all of his paintings. And on the cover to the second Frazetta book 2 was that painting. So I already had it, so it didn't encourage me to buy the album. It was, I've got a fever, and the only prescription is more Kelvin. All right, Brian's got to get out of here, but we got to do. This is Brian with a chance to defend his pick here for. When I told him we were doing this, and I said, "Do you want to come on the show and help me out because we're going to be doing rock and roll and album covers and stuff?" And he said, "This is the first thing that came out of his mouth was this album." So I kind of want to hear him defend himself on this. This is Styx Paradise Theater.
Well, it's such a great album as well, too. And same thing when you open it up, it had so much, in the liner notes and things of that sort. Great album. It was like one of my first vinyl albums that I ever got.
Was this like one of those kind of like themed albums like the Who used to do? Like the whole thing was sort of interconnected and it was kind of like musical. Because here's some of the tunes off of this album. What did I do with it? Oh, here it is. Too Much Time on My Hands, Best of Times. Then they have AD 1928 and AD 1958, which are two separate songs, but they're really the same song. And then Rockin' the Paradise. So I got a feeling there's some sort of connective thread, which is something Dennis DeYoung did a lot of anyway.
I was just gonna say the same thing. That was kind of his thing. And I listened to a podcast about a year ago. Gilbert Gottfried, he was on there, and he talked a lot about his music, where he just was continuing to grow. And Styx like, oh yeah, you're kind of. We'll see you later, Dennis. Kind of a thing. They wanted to continue playing the hits.
Right. And he was,
and then more obviously when Tommy Shaw does the stuff with
Damn Yankees,
lead singer or Jack Blades from Night Ranger,
and Terrible Ted,
so they were Dennis DeYoung was more of a songwriter,
right?
Where but don't get me wrong, album covers they have a ton of great ones. I just love this album. So I mean, it's
I had to throw it on here because you're guest hosting, and I appreciate it. And I was like, he says Paradise Theater. Let's just take a look and see if it's really worth it. What prompted you to buy this? I mean, why does this stick in your mind from your youth? I mean, that was the first album that came out of your mouth was Paradise Theater.
So one of the first vinyl albums I ever bought.
Oh, okay.
And so that was one of my favorites. Kind of like my first CD I ever got was Tom Petty, Full Moon Fever. I remember my second one too. It was Milli Vanilli. I mean, so there's things that go like that.
Talk about eclectic taste.
Yeah.
In,
so you always remember the first one. That was like one of the first ones. And then AC/DC, Dirty Deeds was my other second album.
Dirty Deeds, done dirt cheap.
So
poor old what's his face drank himself to death. But,
yes, he did. So thank you. I've got to run. My son's got a ball game.
Ryan, appreciate you coming by, man. Thanks for the
it was fun
time and the effort. And it was good talking to you and enjoyed sharing the screen with you and some rock and roll knowledge.
It was very fun.
See you later. I'm sticking around, though, unfortunately for you guys, because we're not done yet.
I think Shelley might be here.
Holy crap. She's handed the baton off. Look at that.
Oh my gosh.
Rock and roll Brian out the door and rock and roll Shelley in the door. See you, Brian. Thanks.
Awesome.
All right. There's Shelley. Shelley Showtime is here.
Oh, you got snacks.
I do.
Awesome.
All right, Shelley, I'm not going to give you hardly a chance to breathe.
It's okay. I just walked up the stairs. I can't breathe anyway. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we've all sort of got our album. Mine was the Cars debut album. Brian's was Paradise Theater. This is Shelley, so we're going to have Shelley a chance to defend her choice. Not a great album cover, but yet
it is for me.
This means something to Shelley. Shelley, talk about Foreigner 4.
Just takes me back to high school. We played that like on a permanent loop.
Oh,
yeah, there we go. Oh my God.
Sorry.
But I want to point something out.
Yeah.
So we were watching part of the show at the mall. I got all the workers at K Jewelers to subscribe.
Did you?
I did. I did. But have you not noticed that it says Ass Album?
I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess.
Hey guys, yeah. So I was like, oh my gosh, I wonder if your dad's even noticed that it says Ass Album on his show.
Are you telling me those guys are they're steal my thunder? Or am I like copying them? I'm probably copying them, but I didn't know it because I don't really pay attention to what's going on around me. And she can verify that.
Oh.
Statistical Zero says, hey,
bye.
Hi, Shelley.
Yep.
Aloha Super Shelley. That's your new nickname.
Aha. Woo!
First Foreigner album was
Mhm.
fantastic. Yeah. Yes, it was.
Well, this just meets all my needs. It's a number. I'm
Okay.
a numbers person.
That's true.
Takes me back to high school.
Yeah.
It's got
Do you remember
several
any?
iconic
Can you
songs on it.
remember off the top of your head? Or would you have to look them up?
What, all of them?
No, you just got a song off there that you remember.
Jukebox Hero?
Was that on there?
For sure.
Jukebox Hero.
Hero. With Stars in His Eyes, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you just missed Nazareth, Hair of the Dog.
Oh, dang it.
Um,
hmm
so we're going to jump on a couple more here. Oh, actually, you know what?
What?
Let's take a brief moment because I haven't been. I saved the features until you
Oh,
got back.
That's so sweet.
Okay.
And
So
weird. Uh-huh.
yeah, well, no, I mean, I didn't think Brian would really get it, so we just jumped right into the rock and
Oh.
roll. So we're going to get back to our regular
Roger Scudder
format of programming and take a moment. We've kind of been blasting our minds with rock and roll. Now let's just take a quiet moment.
Let's go this way.
Quiet moment from some stuff from
Oh, okay.
yesteryear.
And Diaper Man.
Heck was that?
That, of course, was Diaper Man from the intro to the cartoon The Mighty Heroes, which premiered in 1966. Now, I was too young to
That's
watch
so
it, so I was
weird.
watching it in reruns. But they had Strong Man, Rope Man, Tornado Man, some bird guy, I can't remember his name. And then there was this guy, Diaper Man. He was the leader of the group, and they fought crime.
Wow.
Yep. Diaper Man.
Wow.
So there you go.
What else you got?
Well, that's a good question. Let's take a look in the comments here.
What?
There it is.
Was
that.
that? Exactly.
Okay, well, I just told you. That baby was jacked.
Jack. Oh my
So I'm actually
gosh.
impressed that I knew something that Louis
Yeah,
Brightraven
urgent.
didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Getting back to Foreigner 4 was Jukebox or Urgent and Waiting for a Girl Like You. That's a
Urgent.
pretty good,
Yeah.
pretty good album.
Yeah.
So we made up a song in Jukebox called Gym Class Hero. Leg Kick sends his greetings.
Yep.
So yeah, maybe. Okay. Now, you know, Shelley,
Woody.
I get a lot of questions when I go to cons.
Mhm.
You know, about a variety of different things, your technique, what's your favorite character.
Mhm.
But the thing I get asked the most from people is, what does Shelley do at cons? That's the number one question I get. So let's take a moment and just check back in time
my
and see what
gosh. Okay.
Shelley's done at cons.
Let's see. I still haven't caught
Yep.
up on sleep.
She tried to drop it. You didn't spell colic right, but I looked it up before I did the video, so you guys couldn't get on my case for misspelling.
No.
That is true. Josh was how old? A couple weeks old?
Yeah.
And so, you know, we were going to San Diego, so he was coming with us.
Yep.
And yeah, Shelley
Great.
also got food poisoning that trip as
Oh, we're
well.
not even going to talk about that.
Yeah. So it was a lot of
But
fun
did you
that trip.
notice? There's some serious hair happening.
Yeah, everybody.
Both
You
of us.
get huge hair. I had hair.
Yep.
And
I was going to get big rocker chick hair today, but
well,
let's
you-
go shopping
that's
instead.
right. So you'd think that all those prints I was selling in that photograph would be worth money, but I don't think they are. All the prints I had in that photograph from that we just watched,
Oh, yeah.
not really. But here's the thing.
Tell me.
Although I get asked that mostly about you, what does Shelley do at cons, right?
Mhm.
The second biggest question that always people come up to me is, Aaron, tell me about your life. They do. They
Oh, yeah.
walk up to
Oh
me
my
all the
gosh.
time and
I was
just
thinking
say,
about making a movie. More snacks.
save some of those for Seth.
Nope.
She'll have a cow.
Okay.
So I decided, you know what? I need to make like a documentary about me. I know it sounds a little self-serving, but it really answers the
I'm sure
questions
Netflix
that people.
will be
Yeah,
calling you tomorrow.
I've been working on this for months, and I can't even tell you. I've been using some of our savings to pay for it. It's a huge. So hopefully we'll be able to sell this to Netflix and stuff and get some money out of it, or at least maybe PBS.
I'm so
might
sure.
take it.
Mhm.
Okay,
Let's see.
but
roll tape.
if you want to know what I'm getting out of my film school education, here we go. So let's take a look at this. It all started for me in 1964. I was born with a full head of hair. I remember it like it was 57 years ago. Shortly after that, I met Shelley Showtime, and we got married, had a couple of kids. Marriage really grounded me. I studied hard and worked even harder to become a comic book artist. Then tragically, I remember losing my hair, and I started live streaming. It's funny how things turn out.
I learned so much. Was choked on a Whopper.
That's it.
Tragic story, hair loss.
That's it. That's it. I hope you guys feel like you know me better now after watching that.
Oh, and then came the snacking. Yep. Oh.
Oh my gosh. That.
Well, art like my big hair. It was even bigger in that engagement photo.
Oh my gosh. Yep. And this is just yet another example of the quality, diverse programming you get on this live stream.
Yeah, born, met Shelley, lost hair, started streaming. Got it. In that order. Oh.
That's pretty much it. Nothing left on the other floor. Nope, everything's in there.
No.
I included everything just to. Oh.
Yeah, I'm sure. Netflix calling tomorrow.
Thank you, Fox. I appreciate it. It's
the sincerity in your voice.
No, I do. I appreciate it. If somebody actually thought that was funny, I appreciate the fact that they snacking is a sequel. And I think also, yeah, we could get best short.
Very short.
Very short.
Director's cut. Yep. Oh,
yeah, there it is. Right there. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I think
let's give Art a plug. He's got Black and White Volume 2. Correct me if I'm wrong. On Indiegogo right now. I don't know. Are you live or is that a sign up page right now? But either way, go check it out. Art T. Bear on Indiegogo and support his campaign. Art does not get the credit he deserves for being a fabulous artist. He really is a great inker, obviously.
And he has great hair.
But he can really draw, and he still has all of his hair. And he's a lot older than me, but looks way younger than me. Yeah.
But I did tell you, I got all the K employees to subscribe. So have you guys subscribed?
You know what?
What?
Thanks for bringing that up, Shelley.
I know, I'm good.
Wow.
Yeah, so remember to like and subscribe. We are like at 950.
Nope, 952.
Thanks to the K Jeweler employees. So how about that? We have 48 more, or maybe less. So if you have not liked or subscried to this channel, you're crazy. You're crazy. You're missing so much great entertainment.
Repressed.
So anyway, wait a minute. I'm sorry. What'd you say?
Help! I'm being repressed.
I saw that. That's why I did it. I know you thought I was pretty clever.
That's right. So,
Help! I'm being repressed.
oh my gosh, is that like the greatest movie ever?
Oh yeah.
Ah, my
Easy.
goodness.
Except after the intermission, I just can't get through the rest.
Okay, so Shelley has some of her friends over, right? And they haven't watched this movie, I guess, in years, but you had seen it before, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're watching it, and it's late. So they're up pretty late watching this movie, and it gets to the intermission. and they like, go ahead.
Oh, we get to the intermission and we're like, oh my God, that's only the intermission? I can't do it. I can't watch the rest.
So they went to bed. There's only 5 more minutes out of the movie after the intermission, and she
And
should
we're
have known
so
that.
tired. Oh,
'cause
I
she saw
can't.
it.
I didn't remember that part. But Howard's like, I can't watch another half of that. It's the longest movie ever. So we were just like, oh, maybe another time.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
We're so
Hey,
dumb.
you know another thing a lot of people ask me about?
What? You know what you could follow that with?
What?
Did Aaron get paid? That's what Shelley asks.
What's he working on? Did he get paid? He did like a little rap
Aaron get a
song
check?
thing like that.
Shelley's
Did
going
he get a check? Okay, so well, this is
Yeah, it
out
came
this
out.
month. Yeah, it's already out. Grab one. They're going fast if they're not already gone. This is my variant cover to Shield the Mighty Crusaders #1. One of the best covers
Archie?
I've ever done.
Yeah, I know
think
you
it
like
is.
it a lot.
I like it a lot. I don't know what this is.
Did you draw that?
I did draw that. And this is for a Swedish comic. That's all I can tell
Yeah,
you.
that's all we know.
As soon as I know more, I'll let you know. I also did a story in it. It was pretty cool,
I
actually.
like that
I'm
a
quite
lot.
proud of it. It's an 8-page story that I wrote and penciled and inked. So when I have information on that, I'll give it to you.
When did you work on that?
A couple of months ago now. That was the first thing I did when I got my arm out of the sling and I actually
Gotcha.
started working. This is my alternative cover for Shadow Sentry for Eric Nalotowski's. I believe that's Indiegogo as well. So you want to check that out. Shadow Sentry, I believe, is the correct title. And that is now funding. So if you want to get that cover,
What?
you can check out his campaign to get
Nope.
that. And then, of course, this is Graham Nolan's Alien Alamo variant cover I did for him. And that's already funded. It's in demand. He's working on it right now, but you can still get a copy. And that's on Indiegogo as well for Graham Nolan. Let me remind everybody that the trade paperback for Garbage Man is being published by Dark Horse Comics right here in Portland. And this is available right now for pre-order on Amazon, or you can get it through Dark Horse. And it has 18 pages, Shelley. Not 16, unfortunately not 20, but 18 pages
I
of
hear
new
there's
material.
new stuff in it. Yep.
There is new material because I had to replace Batman, which was the old stuff,
Yeah, that's
and put in the new stuff with my new super team.
way
So it's
behind.
debut of a new super team right here in this
In the
graphic
little
novel. So you want to pick
Prestiverse?
it up. Yeah, absolutely. So you want to, and it will tie into this, which you'll find a link to this on the YouTube channel right now as you're watching it. If you're not watching on YouTube, you'll find a link to this on my Facebook page. If you're not one of my friends and can't access my Facebook page, you can go to Aaron Lopresti Art on Facebook page, and it's there as well.
When
It's
did you
also
do that?
well, I've got almost 6,000 followers on my Aaron Lopresti Art page.
When did you do that? Yesterday?
No, a
I'm
couple.
kidding.
Yeah, I wish. Yeah, I signed up and I got
I don't even
6,000
know.
followers.
That's
It's
what,
amazing.
you know, it's so stinking hot in here all the time. I just don't come in.
Yeah,
So I just don't know.
several months ago. It's been a while.
Oh.
But then, because I had a lot of people asking to friend me, but I can't take more than 5,000 on my personal page,
He's so popular.
so I had to do that. There's
Although,
also
have we told these? Okay, go through that, and then I'm going to tell him what
Okay.
a dork story you are.
so then it's also on Instagram on my bio page, not my profile page.
I had to correct him. I was irritated. So-
And so the link
else?
is to that. And then on Twitter, I have it posted on my profile
Good
page
job.
on Twitter as well. So
get out
go.
there, tell our friends,
That's right. Let's get it's too early
go
to
up to
fund.
strangers.
That's
tell
right.
them.
But what you can do is sign up on the email notification list. So therefore, when I actually go live with this, I can bombard you with emails saying, buy my book, buy my book. But you get a free trading card, limited edition trading card, if you sign up
Sign
now
up
and buy
early.
later. Yeah, exactly. Sign up early, buy later. And this, of course, is the second cover. That was the first. This is the second cover that'll be available. This is my 70s retro Marvel cover.
Homage.
Homage. Thank you very much. And I also have another cover coming from a very high-profile artist. There'll be 3 different covers you can get on this graphic novel, and it's all new material, very exciting stuff. So Wraith of God, check that out on Indiegogo.
Yeah.
Now Shelley's going to tell us an embarrassing story about me, I think.
Well, when
About me being
Facebook
a
was
dummy.
just starting,
This is more of a story of not being a dummy, but more out of ignorance, just not being informed. So go ahead.
There's a big difference between the two.
There's a difference between being stupid and being ignorant.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So he didn't understand how this whole like friends thing worked on Facebook and what it mattered. And so we had convinced him that you got points for the more friends you had and that you could redeem your points for things.
I didn't know.
And fromage.
Like I couldn't figure out like why do you care how many friends you have? What is it? You know, if it's not benefiting you financially, what's the whole shtick?
Well,
and so they had me going. And
yeah, you get points. Like, you know, your reward points on a credit card. You get points for your friends on Facebook, how many you have, and then you get stuff.
So, but I later taught, not long after, I talked to a friend of mine who's a character designer, and Chris Ayers, and he was saying, you got to get on social media, Aaron, because that's how you advertise your stuff to reach a bigger audience. And I went, oh, I see. Because people were like, they're like posting pictures of their dinner and going, oh, I got, 100 likes. I'm like, well, so what? Who cares if someone likes your picture of your dinner? What are you getting out of it? And so.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. So yeah, he was one of these.
Yeah, I'm a little behind the times on that stuff.
Man. Homage or fromage?
Yeah, definitely. I will. Yes, definitely we'll do it.
So
okay, so let's
Sauna Shelley is sad Shelley.
Yeah, I see that.
So
that makes me...
we sent both of those air conditioners back this week.
Yeah, we did.
Kind of wait and see what's going to happen because I had already paid for them on my credit card. So I'm going to have a bunch of credit.
Oh, look out. Well, at least it's on your credit card, not mine.
I'm already paid for them.
I know,
so
that's what I'm saying.
I wonder if they'll just cut me a check because it'll be like $700 of credit.
Oh.
I know, I'm a big spender.
But we don't have any AC in here again. So I mean, we do, but it doesn't really work. All right, let's get back to it, shall we? We got a little bit more rock and roll to cover.
More?
Yes.
Gosh, I thought I was gone long enough.
Well, actually, it was a pretty good. We're almost done.
Did Brian do all right?
Yeah, he did really well.
My brother's kind of funny.
He did research and everything.
I know. I saw he had
notes and stuff. He was ready to rock and roll.
What ass album is this one?
What? This is an ass album. This is, of course, the Beatles' Revolver album.
Oh, our daughter is a huge Beatles fanatic.
Now, I don't particularly like this album cover. I'm a Beatles fan. I'm not like a huge Beatles fan, but there's an interesting note here. Let me check my notes. I had to go in. There it is. Okay, the guy that did the artwork on this, Klaus Vormann was his name. Okay, apparently a German guy. Sounds very German. Now he was the bassist in Manfred Mann's Earth Band. Remember Manfred Mann? Blinded by the light, wrapped up like okay. He was the bassist in Manfred Mann's band. He was also a roommate of George Harrison and maybe it was Ringo Starr. I can't remember now. One of the other ones early on. So he had a connection to the Beatles and ended up doing this album cover for him.
What's next?
So he's like moving along. Okay.
What else you got?
Okay, Shelley's unimpressed with that. Okay. Well.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to talk about this. This. And this.
Ooh.
Okay. Pretty. Okay, so now you hit the 6 buttons that allow me to do this. Now, if ever there was a 70s airbrush drug-induced album cover, this has got to be it.
Airbrushed?
Yeah, how do you think they did those?
Not. I don't know.
You can see, look at the soft edges on the...
Yeah.
They could have done it. Yeah, they could have actually done it with colored pencil as well. But we're going to assume for the sake of argument it's airbrush.
Okay.
This, of course, is one of the great iconic albums of all freaking time.
Number one ass album.
Is it? Am I going to have to censor you? Hi, could not find you on Facebook. Is that my fault or your fault, Rodney? Aaron Lopresti or Aaron Lopresti Art on Facebook.
Porn.
Well, it's not my favorite cover either, but it's like one of my all-time favorite albums, so I had to throw it on there.
I think they were talking about the Beatles.
Oh, the Beatles? Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not a great album cover, but in recognition of
Now,
my
this
daughter,
one-
who's a Beatle honk, I had to put a Beatles song.
I
in it.
just go get a painting she did of the Beatles. That classic wavy one.
Spit it out, Shelley.
I don't know.
Time
Oh, but
to
this
waste
is probably one of the most recognizable covers.
Yeah, this
Okay.
was on the top 100 album charts for like 20 years or something. It's just ridiculous. Now here's a story. Okay, now we have this
Okay.
place. Every state has something like this, but OMSI is what we call it here. It's Oregon Museum of Science and Industry, right? When we were in Florida, it was called MOSI, which was the Museum of Science and Industry, but basically the same thing, right? Well, they had a planetarium, they called it, right?
Mhm.
And you go in there, and you could, like, when you were a kid, they'd take you in for field trips. You'd sit in these chairs in it was a circular
IMAX.
auditorium. Yeah. And you'd look up at the ceiling, and they'd project like stars and all that kind of stuff up there, and they'd show constellations. Well, they also do laser light shows. Okay. So they've been doing Pink Floyd, The Dark Side of the Moon, LP laser light show forever. And it's a midnight showing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in high school, 18 years old, and for some reason I couldn't get any of my friends to go with me. Maybe they were busy or whatever. And
Or they
but
just didn't like you.
that could have been. But my grandmother was staying with us at the time. And she goes, "I'll go." And I'm like, "Really?" She says, "Yeah." So I took my grandmother, and she was old then, and I took her to see the Pink Floyd laser light show at OMSI.
That Grandma Lopresti?
Yep, because she was wild. She'd try anything. And so,
Woo!
woohoo! And
Is that where you get it?
I remember asking her, "What would you think of that?" She goes, "Oh, that was really great." You know, she was like,
She probably slept through the whole thing.
no, but so then
Yeah.
it became kind of a family tradition. So I took Josh when he was in junior high. I took him to
Mhm.
see it at midnight because they're still doing the midnight showing. And then they quit the midnight showings and like do them like at 10 now.
It's just not as thrilling.
Yeah, it's wimpy. So I took Samantha to see it.
Uh-huh.
So Josh, me, and Samantha went and saw it. And then after that, we went and got fried pie.
Oh, that was the best.
But
Okay, I
they
didn't go to the
closed
light show.
the fried pie.
I
down.
can't do those things. Hurts my neck, gives me a headache, and so. But I would have done the fried pie.
Yes,
Yeah, those were good.
Those were
Little
deep
food cart
fried-
thing.
yeah.
Oh,
deep
sad they're
fried pie.
so hyper potato, of course,
Just-
anytime.
Because my wife wants Shelley to be her friend.
I don't have very many, so that's awesome.
All right, so let's jump on with this one. Now, Shelley, you must have memories of this.
Not a one. Never seen
You're
that.
only 2 years younger than me.
I've never seen that album cover in my life.
We Will Rock You, and
Yeah.
that was on this album cover.
Well, it doesn't mean I know the album cover.
Well, no, but I mean the album itself.
Pardon. Okay.
We Will Rock You and We Are the Champions.
I know the songs, but I don't think I ever had the album or.
Did you guys ever like play that before, like we were doing warm-ups for basketball or volleyball?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was
course.
like the big thing in junior high was playing this album before
But
our basketball games.
I
We
never
were
made
warming
it.
up.
The mixtape or whatever we did, and like we didn't have albums. Our parents let us buy like the 45,
So
but
that,
the
like,
only
little-
albums we had were things my mom would buy. Like she would wake us up on Saturday mornings to the sound of music, so that we'd get out of bed.
So basically, in the
or
late
Sweet Charity.
So basically, in the mid to late 80s, you rebelled and went to all these hair band rock concerts to get back at your parents for not letting you buy albums when you were a kid. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, I don't know.
I think
Maybe. I think
So
the
you were
bigger
a
my hair
headbanger.
got, I was.
you became a headbanger in the 80s because you couldn't buy this album.
Yeah, but because albums were more expensive, and you weren't sure like all the songs, if they were all going to be good. But
It's
yeah, I
true.
don't remember
You had to
ever
take the good with
seeing.
the bad. That's true. We did
that
buy a lot
album
of
cover.
45s. We did buy a lot
Yeah.
of 45s. Now, this is an interesting album because it's a gatefold. It folds down, though. It's
Oh.
only a single album, but it folds down, and you can see the rest of the robot's body and the rest of the band members laying dead on the rocks.
We should
all
find
bloody
it.
and stuff.
Our daughter was really into
She loves it.
LPs,
And she
into
loves Queen.
vinyls.
And she likes
As
Queen.
she
She
called
likes
them.
Queen.
Yeah. Ugh. Yep.
Okay, now how
I don't
about
know.
this one?
Uh-oh.
Now this is the
Another
one.
one I won't know. Also.
No, you'll know this. This is Rush,
Nope.
Fly By Night.
Nope.
Fly by night away from here. Ding,
Oh
ding.
yeah, I know that song.
Yeah, because it's on Guitar
Yeah.
Hero or something, right?
I didn't play Guitar Hero.
Well, we've listened to it because our kids have it.
It's on Just Dance, maybe.
Maybe. But anyway, so this was, I thought, the coolest Rush album cover. My brother got this, and I remember just looking at the album cover going, wow, I wish I liked the band as much as I like the album cover.
Mhm.
So I'm not a big Rush fan, but
It's pretty striking.
yeah. And of course, Neil
It would-
Peart, one of the great drummers of all time.
I would be afraid of owls for the rest of my life. That is an owl. I don't know. Is that an owl?
It's an owl. It's a very intense looking owl.
Yeah, I
He's
would-
huge. He's giant. He's a giant owl.
That would scare me.
Well, I wouldn't expect.
Yeah,
you
I
know,
just don't. I'm serious. Like the albums we had were just stuff I think my mom would get. Sweet Charity, Sound of Music. Yeah, I woke up every Saturday morning to The Hills Were Alive, Sound of Music.
Okay, but
Oh, it's
no,
child abuse, man.
Okay, so we only have a couple more to take a look at,
Oh.
but
Let's see if Shelley knows this one. Probably not.
no, I bet you do know this. And the only reason I'm putting this one up here,
No.
you don't know that? Okay, I won't put it up there.
Well, no. I mean, I know that.
Well, because this had "So Caught Up in You," the 38 Special song was like that was like the song in college.
So caught up in you.
Yeah, little
Yeah,
girl.
girl. I know the song, but I guess I never paid attention to the album. Plus, by that point, cassettes were so big, and it was just this tiny little
Yeah.
thing, maybe.
Well, this was a song my freshman year in college that we were,
So
everybody was
in
listening
10th
to.
grade.
Yeah, he would have been a sophomore. So I was wondering if that song kind of
Or
caught
junior.
on. Yeah, maybe junior.
Yeah.
Junior. I was wondering if maybe that was kind of a high school thing because it was the college thing for sure. This album, but
So is that Shell I hear?
yeah, it's 38 special actually. But it's not it's not a great album or a great album cover. But I just threw it on there just because I thought maybe
Just 'cause?
you'd
What the heck is that one?
well, you'll see. This is where we're going to end the show.
That's different.
Yeah, I know. It's just, but just give me a second.
What the? What are you smoking?
That is the question.
Oh,
Who's he howling
howling
at?
dog. There's 2 children downstairs.
I don't know.
That's
All right,
your
guys.
baby.
She's got to go tend to the dog. She'll be back. Okay. So we all know yes, right? And you guys are all waiting for these, right? Yeah, I know which one you're talking about, Hyper Kaiju, but it was because of the song that was on 38 Special on that album that's why I used that one.
Wait to the revolution.
Mike,
Viva la revolution.
he wants to know if he's late to the revolution. Well, it
Never.
hasn't even
Never too
started
late.
yet. So, I hate giant robots, and this Queen cover is why.
I wonder if album covers.
That's
not,
right.
Not to be like sexist, but is it a guy thing?
I think it is. The album's cover was painting by American sci-fi artist Kelly. I knew that, but I'd forgotten it. I'm so thank you, Dojo Coon Comics, for letting us know because I knew that, but I had forgotten it, and now know it again.
It's good to know things.
It is. Mike's pushing for the revolution,
Let's do this.
and
Ale, ale.
he's not going to let me talk about yes because I have to do this first. Yeah.
Et en français, vive la révolution.
No, I didn't. But the Jailbreak cover, what he's talking about is it's Neil Adams, right? Art, is that what you're talking about? I'd forgotten about that, and I was going to do that. And
ELO.
thank you for reminding me because the Thin Lizzy Jailbreak cover is Neil Adams. But anyway,
Really?
this is Roger Dean, and I don't know what this dude was tripping on, but all the Yes album covers are
Weird.
similar in their weirdness. This one has some animals in it, but again, this is Roger Dean. What does that say? Topographic
Topographic drama.
live across America. That's like a multi-titled album cover with a trippy Roger Dean thing going on there. Okay, we have one more I want to take a look at. And it's not all that different, but it just kind of shows the consistency that these guys were bringing that he did all
I like
of the.
that one.
It is, but it has
But
a
this
feel.
one looks like it's floating.
Yeah, they are. That rock is floating. That rock's floating.
That might
These are
be
floating
why
rocks.
it looks like it's floating.
It has a very Maxfield Parrish feel to it. For those of you who are into that, as opposed to a bottom graphic, which makes
Are
complete
not
sense.
as appealing. So statistical zero's out. Having a good night. Lots of shrooms. Another
Absolutely.
one, yeah.
Nah, I didn't do any. I'm already. I wanted to get done by 6, and so I had to sort of. Yes, Roger Dean. Was I saying Roger Dean, or was I saying something else? I was saying
Oh
Roger
no,
Dean.
because
wasn't
go down there. They had a list. Somebody had a list of them down right there. They were answering that,
it? Roger Dean or Rodney Matthews. I don't get the.
and then that's the answer.
Oh, Roger Dean. Yeah.
Okay, because you're like, what were they asking?
Yeah. So
I got to keep them on top of stuff.
Okay.
So what else you got?
Iron.
Iron
No,
Maiden.
you know, Iron. Here's the thing. I didn't use any Iron Maiden cover. Jimmy Dean. Oops, sorry. Oh my gosh, these things are popping up faster than I can hit the
Yeah.
right button. No, because they're too evil and satanic looking. Even though they had like some really wild, but they were all just like so creepy and evil looking. I didn't really want to use those. So, but
But I think
they did some wild covers
a
though.
lot of the album covers are going to also have a, like for me, like when you thought of that, I thought immediately of Foreigner because I had a connection to it.
Mm-hmm. Uriah Heep's the same way. I was looking at some of those and I was like, I don't really want to go that direction. But yeah, I love Power Slave by Iron Maiden.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, it's just those are the kind of albums that we were talking about this when Brian was here. That we would go into the to record stores, and flip through the albums and
What
look
was
at the
that one
art.
over in Beaverton Mall? That
Tower Records.
Tower Records. Yeah.
But those were, I would get into the like be looking at Iron Maiden and stuff, and it would just creep me out. Even as a teenager, like that's just a little too hardcore for me.
Well, and I didn't rock out much then. You know, in the 70s. How old was I? We were
Well, you're
all
2
like
years younger than me, so I
Sean
was in
Cassidy
'76. I was 12, so that's
Yeah.
when I really started getting into that. Sorry,
Boo!
get that in there before I forgot.
Mm. Nice.
Yeah, that Power Slave album cover is so detailed. I looked at it for hours while you were tripping. You like tripping hard and watching it. So anyway, that's just kind of like a short journey through album cover Nirvana.
Yeah.
Not really.
I just like that you always try to do something different and unique and
That's what
entertaining.
we're trying to do. That's right.
Yeah.
And
So Brian was all right.
oh, he was good. Brian had stories.
Awesome.
That's the kind of thing you want. You want a guy with some stories.
Oh, my brother's got stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I could end this or I could draw. What do you think I should do?
Probably draw.
I should draw something before I go, right?
Yep.
And it's funny because you should mention that because I actually have a request for a sketchbook.
Nice.
So if you're
Do it.
interested, this is my, you know what this is, Shelley? You can probably give the speech, can't you?
Yeah. So Aaron did that.
The end. Thank you so much.
20 years of sketches. Excellent quality. If you would like it, $25, or you can get a headshot for $45 plus the $5 shipping. Could be yours if the price is right.
That's right. 64 pages of color,
Color,
hardbound.
Hardbound.
Got some of the
Take notes.
details. Would you,
Well-
would you hand me that drawing board right over there? Your phone's on
Yeah.
your face?
This was an excellent stream. Should do this topic again. You could do album covers like forever.
Well, yeah, it's like doing
I think that our daughter's boyfriend wants to.
movies
that.
or anything like that. There's,
Our little
sort
art
of just
majors.
scratching the surface. But I mean, with our regular fantastic and unique programming,
Mhm.
combined with 40 some album covers, we're already at 2 hours. So you could just go forever.
Yep.
Because you could actually talk about, forget the album covers, let's just talk about great albums. And that's a whole nother conversation.
We'll have to have my brother back. I think my brother enjoyed it. He's very I don't know, enthusiastic about things.
Well, I was impressed that he came in and with notes.
Yeah. Well, do it right, man.
But he also came in with a Paul Simon album, and I was like, that's about enough to get you kicked out of the house right now.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed it. But I showed great restraint. I walked into 2 different jewelry stores today.
And well, wait a minute, did you get your necklace fixed?
Yeah. Well, it's announced to get fixed. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But I didn't buy or upgrade anything
Wow.
yet.
We're switching to the Gam Cam, so look out.
Oh,
There's the werewolf arm.
Shelley's
What's the
legs.
dog howling?
I am so sore.
Why is the dog howling?
I don't know. Josh is outside, I think.
Mm.
I'm a new sub now. Thanks, Aaron and Shelley.
Hey, Mike, thank you. Thank you, really. A lot of people get this show confused with Aaron. But that's not what it is.
Those are special.
Those are special events. Aaron Cons are special. This is simply called Aaron Live because we're live.
Yep. And it's
Logical.
it's
It's logical.
Logical.
I didn't mean to do that.
the second one.
The second one was an accident.
Oh,
Oh, look at. Okay, I just resubbed. I'm new to your channel, Aaron. Oh, really?
Oh.
Well, we have something for you guys. That's what you get for resubbing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Mike, I'm not talking to you.
Let's see.
In fact, you're annoying, Shelley.
No.
So there you go.
I'm so embarrassed now. Unsubbing.
No, wait, please don't.
So I did tell you that we were actually, see, there it is. We were watching, and I actually commented.
Yeah,
I don't
we
know if
saw
you saw it. Okay.
We did.
Well,
Yeah.
but I think I didn't watch long enough to see it.
Oh, let's see. There's a good idea right there. Rename all shows not Aaron Con, so I can still use the. It's not.
On. Yeah.
Well, you know, I could say it's not. We've got to say Aaron. It's not Aaron. Okay, that
Yeah,
works.
you're at 950 apparently, so maybe the other people didn't do it.
Oh, what a bunch of! They
I know.
lied to you just to get your
Well,
business.
but it wasn't the guy that was helping us. He was hysterical. Got a
No.
great story, but I don't know if I can share it.
This is awesome. You need to try this because it says it's a madhouse. That is one that's on my
Yes.
list of getting.
Yep.
So,
And then what? Let the spanking begin.
she's not your comrade because you can't even spell her name right, Mike.
It's okay. That's what it is on my birth certificate.
What? They misspelled your name in your birth certificate?
No, my mom decided later that she wanted an E in there.
Okay, now I'm confused. So which?
Mine too.
Oh,
I could do either.
oh my goodness.
I like the E because it adds some symmetry to my name. And you know me and symmetry.
Yeah.
I gotta have it. Gotta.
And that's not the same as cemetery.
Nope.
We want to stay away from that as long as we
Yeah.
can. But cemetery or symmetry is a different
Yeah.
story.
Oh, gotta. There's me. There's an echo in here.
All right, so I have a German customer who would like a picture of,
Oh my gosh, spit it out.
you know,
That guy.
the chick who
With the
does that
face?
stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah. You know,
I'm sorry, guys.
Cheetah. You know, Cheetah. Do you know who Cheetah is, Shelley?
Chef Spots.
Well, yeah, she does.
Yeah.
She's a Wonder Woman villain.
Wonder Woman.
I guess she was in Wonder Woman 1984, although I can't confirm that because I actually never saw the movie.
Yeah. Well, I heard it wasn't very good.
That's what I heard. I didn't even put on my extra lights either, and I'm still getting glare, I'm telling you.
Well, I need something new to watch. I watched 18 seasons of The Incredible Dr. Pol.
Are you kidding
I
me?
think I could be,
Did he have like hair when it started?
No.
18 seasons?
and I think I could probably diagnose quite a few things now, but fixing them, well, they give antibiotics for a lot. But I need something. I need something new to watch. What should I watch? Nothing scary. What else? Can be on
Yes,
Netflix or Hulu or Prime. Oh, I did finish Bosch, the last season of Bosch.
I don't even know what this stuff is that you're talking about.
So you just don't have as much time to wait. Well, I usually watch a lot of them while I'm not sleeping all night. So, well, I think I slept last night after I finally fell asleep.
Well, that's usually what happens after you fall asleep. You sleep.
Oh, time for a station break. Throw some hands. Well, no, it takes me forever to fall asleep.
Well, you know,
Normally
it's,
because I'm in
it's so
pain.
it's so hot up here though too. That
Yeah.
took me a while too because it's so warm. And I was trying to figure out what am I going to do for my live stream tomorrow.
Oh, I just couldn't sleep.
Actually, that's not true because I had it already figured out before I went to bed.
It says Aaron doesn't watch TV made after 1990.
I don't listen to music made after 1990. I don't listen to watch
for
TV
sure.
made after 1965. No, I probably don't watch TV after. I don't really watch TV that much.
No,
When was Seinfeld?
the only reason we have like cable is so we can watch sports,
It's
which
true.
is dumb. But then you can online you can watch certain channels that you can just log in through your cable provider. Yeah, we don't really. Oh, A Quiet Place. Yeah, that one's intense though, right? Yeah, I watched part of it, and I love Emily Blunt.
That's a really, really good movie.
Yeah.
It's very uptight, intense though.
I'll have to watch it, not when I'm trying to sleep. But I like serious things. I heard what was the one on Netflix?
Wait a minute, isn't Stranger Things back and doing more episodes? Weren't you watching that for
I
a while?
was. But Winona Ryder just irritated the crap out of me.
She was incredibly annoying. I only watched 2 episodes of that
Yeah,
show,
I just
and I was like,
cannot
I can't
handle
listen to her
her.
anymore.
Come on, Netflix.
And as a sheriff, though, that sheriff was in. He was the Red Guardian in the Black Widow movie, and he was Hellboy in the new Hellboy movie.
Yeah. I like him. Yeah, Winona Ryder, the whiniest. Ugh.
Remember when she used to be like a big star?
Yeah. I mean, I understand some happened to your kid, but still.
You're talking
Virgin
about in the
River.
show,
Yeah. Virgin River is supposed to be good. I want to see Manifest, maybe. What did I watch, though?
Weren't you watching a show that like Sandra Bullock couldn't talk or something? What was that show?
Oh.
The Birdcage or something like
I'm sure the Birdcage.
not the Birdcage, but it was something like the cage or the bird sanctuary or the bird something. Was there a bird involved?
Well, they couldn't. They should have covered their eyes. It was you couldn't see.
Right.
Winona's nuttier than a bowl of granola. Yeah, so if Winona hadn't opened her mouth, I would have been pretty happy.
Right now? That's
weird.
interesting. Yeah, very weird.
Let's see. Oh, I did watch some of.
She still looks good though. If Winona Ryder had no
so I said,
lines,
if she
it'd
didn't
be
open her
perfect.
mouth, I would have been happier. Yeah, I watched all the.
No, it's you probably already figured it out, but it's Cheetah. Thank you.
I was kind of into documentaries there for a while.
I watched that show for a while, the plastic surgeon show. It got a little weird for me, so I quit watching it.
Mm.
That was like when we were living in Florida. That was a big thing. There it is, Bird on a Wire.
No, that was Goldie Hawn and Mel Gibson.
Oh, that's right. That was a movie.
Bird Box.
Bird Box. See, I knew there. Jeff comes through. Good job, Jeff. I was expecting that to be Louis Brightraven because he knows all pop culture, but dang it, I'm running out of pen, Shelley.
Sorry to hear that, Aaron.
Luckily, I have another one right here.
Good job. Yep, that was it. 40 coming face to face with something. Cuts it off.
Are we talking about the Bird
I
Box
need
stuff?
something more to watch. I don't know.
What was that? What was that
Monarch.
doctor in that small British town you used to watch? What was that?
Do what?
That doctor in that small, like, it was a British show in the
Um,
small town that was
yeah.
right on the water there.
yeah. Doc Martin. I love anything British TV. And I love anything about historical monarchies too. Yep. I love history. Big time.
But you did not like the ending of.
Oh, as long as it ends well.
Yeah, if anybody dies at the end, then forget it.
Well, I hated
Braveheart.
Braveheart.
Yeah.
Just because, well, the end was just so brutal.
Freedom.
Oh, the Queen. I binged watched that one. Oh wait. Well, that's the movie, The Queen. But the watched all of Broadchurch, Breaking Bad.
I think the last show I watched was a Dick Van Dyke show.
You're killing me.
So did you guys know I did a Wonder Woman versus Cheetah comic strip that was on the back of what are those icicle pops called, the brand ones? You know, the
Thank you.
frozen pops.
Otter Pops. Well, did you ever see the box that they came out with your Wonder Woman story and stuff? That's what you're talking about?
Yeah, I never.
Somebody posted
Yeah,
a
someone
picture of
posted
it.
on Facebook, but I never actually saw one in the stores. Popsicles. They're just popsicles. That's the brand name. Yeah.
The Tom Hardy show was good. Oh,
Did Tom Hardy have a variety show that I missed?
let me see. Well, we watched that alone.
Yeah, but we didn't see. We were
I
supposed to
watched All
watch the
Call
end
the
of it together,
Midwife.
and you didn't wait for me. Very
I
sad.
wanna, where's the series about the Queen, which was awesome.
Was it called The Queen?
I can't remember. Yeah. So the new releases. Okay, top 10. Virgin River, Manifest, Atypical. I don't know what that means. Like I said, I finished Bosch, which I really like. Let's see about documentaries. Ooh, 21st century serial killers.
Boy, that would be fun right before bed too, don't you think?
I watch a little bit of everything. It's kind of weird.
You do watch a lot of like.
We call them death TV.
Yeah, there's a lot of people dying.
I like forensics. If I was in high
exactly.
school now, I probably would have gone into forensics. Yes, The Crown. Wasn't that good? Oh, Claire Foy was so good. And then oh, what's her name? She's so funny, but she was so good as the Queen.
This is
Crown, yes.
This is number 291 right here. All right, so I have drawn Cheetah, I have signed Cheetah, and I have numbered Cheetah 291.
Manhunter. Okay, not before bed. Good to know.
There you have her.
Oh, what's her name? Oh yeah, Olivia Colman. She is so good.
Manhunter.
Woo!
Are you you're talking about the Michael Mann film? That it was like Hannibal Lecter? Or is that a show they're doing now?
So if you guys have ideas for shows that you want to see too, tell Aaron.
I think that's
It's
that's
good.
a, I think that's a reasonable review of Black Widow right there.
Yeah. You saw it yesterday.
Yep, indeed I did. There's a really good documentary on me that just came out on this channel earlier
I heard
today.
it was a quick one.
Yeah, it's not a
High budget.
Yep, but low time commitment.
Yep.
Okay, he's talking about the Manhunter series on Netflix.
Netflix. Okay.
But don't watch it before bed, he said.
Unless I'm living on the edge. Who's else? Can't believe you didn't notice that.
I was not. Hey, I was. You know, I was. I was hosting the show, man. I can't.
Am I the only one that noticed that one? Oh, here we go.
No,
Manhunter or
Loki's
Mindhunter?
funny. Loki's supposed to be funny. I mean, I don't know what part you're laughing at.
Well,
but-
I've only seen parts of it, so I really can't. Mindhunter, yeah. There it is.
Well, you know, guys, that's really all I have to draw today. I will kind of let you know that I'm going to start working on Wraith of God tomorrow. And so I'm going to be using that as source material for drawing on these live streams. So you'll get to see me creating pages and stuff of the book that hopefully you'll be purchasing.
Nice.
So anyway, that's really all we got for today's show, Shelley. Thanks for coming in late, but finishing strong.
Thanks.
It was a night. It was perfect timing. Brian was out the door. You were in the door.
Yeah. Well,
Finished out with some.
looked at a lot of jewelry.
You did.
Yeah.
You seemed very disinterested in the rock albums, but that's fine. We only had a few of them to look at, so.
Well, you didn't have any Twisted Sister or Cinderella or Rat or YNT.
Me!
Or
Oh
I thought we were
my
doing big
gosh.
hair bands.
Oh, well, maybe
So
next
I think
time.
we need to do one of those,
Maybe.
and
Well,
I break out the big rocker chick hair.
Well,
just
you know
saying.
what we should do is a show dedicated to your concert experiences, because you went to a lot of them.
Yeah, but what was your first concert you ever went to?
I went and saw the Police.
Only because you wanted to go with that girl.
Yeah, it was my best friend. One of my best friends at the time was dating some girl from Sunset High School in Portland, and she had her best friend, and so I was working on her best friend. So we were all meeting at this concert, and it just did not go well for me. And I don't really like the Police that much.
No.
So, but good Lord, this
YNT. Yep.
cost me $18 to get the ticket to go to that show. $18.
David Lee Roth. I think my first concert is so funny. My parents took us to see the Statler Brothers in I don't know, early grade school, I think.
I'm
I think the best concert. Well, we saw. I took Sammy to Pentatonics and Kelly Clarkson. That was pretty good. Did we see Garth?
We didn't. See, when we first got married, Shelley drugged me to about 20 different country concerts. So we saw a bunch of
Well, my
country
dad used
stars.
to advertise on one of the country radio stations, so they'd have those listener appreciation concerts, and we'd always get tickets.
So we went and saw a bunch of those, like
Yeah.
Winona.
I saw Winona a couple times.
And
I
various
can't
other,
remember. Yeah,
Alan
so-
Jackson, and who is that group we went backstage and got a picture with?
Well, one time I was huge
Little
pregnant.
Texas? No. Who was
I
that?
can't remember, but I was huge pregnant with Joshua, and he just crap out of me every time there'd be a big drum and kick.
So we had coats over her
Oh, I was just like
tummy like
insulated.
this, like so.
Ooh. But I've seen quite a few, but I'm getting old. My first thing is that's a long time to be upright for me.
Well, I'm
And
not talking
then-
about now, but I'm talking about when
Yeah.
you're doing your hairband stuff in the 80s. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, I went and saw the Police, and that was 1982. And then I didn't go to another concert until I went to the concerts with you. And then I went and saw Kiss in 96. And that was like the
Mark
last
saw
time.
YNT a few years ago See, you think I'm just making up. Nobody else knows who they are.
Y and T. What is
I'll,
that?
I'll find. I'll educate him later. See, I have so much
Satana
still
was
to
great.
teach you.
Paul saw Santana. That would be a great concert, I would think.
Yeah. Anyway, so next time you're going to do a live stream tomorrow.
Oh, look at this.
What?
There's a little shout out for Shelley. You lead the league in assists. How about that?
Thanks. Thanks. I try.
Young
Trying to
and
be
tenacious.
supportive.
Ooh, that would have been cool. Ringo, Frampton, and Liam Gallagher, and The Who in 2020. How about that? Paul's in the San Francisco area, so I'm guessing a lot of stuff. I bet a lot of stuff goes through there. Yeah, that's true. Art played the drums in a heavy metal band way back when.
Sorry, I'm trying to.
What is that? That's Y and T?
Mm-hmm. Art.
Was that a hair band?
They got some hairs.
Oh my gosh. Well,
I'll play
what
some
are you
more.
gonna do? All right. Well, gang, that's all we got for today. I really
Time for
appreciate you
dinner.
coming
What are we
by.
eating?
I don't know. I put hamburger out. I might grill something. I don't know.
Okay.
So anyway, you guys, thank you so much, sincerely, for joining us. I really appreciate it. Try to make this as fun as we can, but you guys make it fun for us with your comments and your constant interaction. We appreciate it. I will be back sooner than you probably would like. I don't know when it's going to be, but it might be as soon as tomorrow. So be on the lookout for lunch with Aaron. And
It'll be tomorrow night because you're helping me clean out the mobile home tomorrow. Did you know that?
Is that what we're doing that? I didn't know that.
Now you do.
Yay.
Get to hang out with our brother.
Yeah, it'll be fun. So we'll talk more rock and roll. But anyway, so yeah, and please, if you get a chance, like and subscribe to this channel, and also go and check out my Indiegogo
I'm so excited
campaign
for that.
and
awesome.
Sign up for it. And it's going well. The signups are going really well. Got a long way to go though. I want to get. We want to hit that big magic number of 1,000 is what they tell me. So
really,
let's do that and make it happen. And we will see you guys soon. And let's all rock and roll together, shall we?